reasons for coming to this vast frontier.
Is this okay now?
But for our guild, we who protect this land, one reason stands above all others. Our wonder. You feel it too. We see it in your eyes. Wonder at the astonishing power that shapes this land of awe.
I like the art style a lot
spirits
too.
to whom we are bound. At the gods who hold dominion over
Froze. Okay.
all. We cannot guarantee your comfort or even your safety. But if you yearn for horizons unexplored, for fellowship and purpose, for a cause worth dying for, to you, we can promise magic.
I hope we get playable Coden. I think they said, they mentioned three races, I think, that's gonna be available. Didn't they? Oh, the streamer's reactions? I don't know if I want to watch reactions. Do I want to watch reactions? It's short.
The announcement of the next game.
2 minutes. Fine, we watch it. We watch it. The thing is, I don't know people.
A storied franchise.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh,
He knew?
oh. Guild Wars has stories.
Guild Wars has stories. Wait, let me make the window a bit smaller. They knew straight away. I didn't know until it said MMO. Then I was like, wait. Let's do this in case somebody has a camera on the left bottom side. And maybe nobody does, but you never know. Okay, let's restart. My bot account, what's that? Did I miss something? Okay.
The announcement of the next game in a storied franchise.
Oh, wait, hold on.
That's interesting. They call it a story franchise?
Guild Wars has stories.
Guild Wars has stories. That's
wait.
funny.
A storied franchise? Oh shit!
Stop.
One reason.
Wait, that's me! I'm in the video. One of the most exhaustingly detailed and rewarding MMOs? Wait, Guild Wars? That's when I realized, like, I read MMO, that's like, oh shit! Because I was like, there's no other MMO which is important right now, which is gonna be announced.
Oh!
What?
You feel
No!
it too. We see it in your eyes. Wonder at the astonishing power that shapes
Duality as
this
well.
land
Guild Wars 3?
of awe.
I think it really is, dude.
See it in
Are they
your eyes.
really doing this?
Wonder
I think it's actually
at
Guild
the
Wars 3.
astonishing power that shapes
It is!
at the
This is
great
it!
spirits
This is
to
it!
whom we are
Nobody
bound.
panic! That's
At the
all!
gods,
It's ore! It's freaking ore! It's
at the
freaking
great
ore!
spirits to for horizons.
Yo, that's a freaking Kodan! It's a bear!
Are in Coden! Playable Coden!
I don't know what a Coden is. Oh my god, it is Guild Wars 3! Oh my god.
It's a Guild Wars 3!
I can't watch people crying. Oh my god. I didn't think so. What the heck?
Oh!
There it is.
Oh my god.
Colin
Bonus.
Johansson, the studio head at Arena.
It's the
And I want to
thank you for watching.
Is that
Everyone
Colin?
watching both Colin
It's
Johansson,
Colin!
the studio head.
Oh, they know him.
Thank you for watching the exclusive first look at our
Oh, she
upcoming
knows
game.
him too? I didn't know
Studio head
him.
at ArenaNet, and I want to thank you
It's
for watching the
Colin.
exclusive both here and live online around the world.
That's cool. Colin is the hype man, yeah? I wasn't sure about watching reactions, but no, that was good. That was good. That was a good video. Oh, I'm glad I didn't show too much of Loyalty crying. That's too much. Too much! Too many feelings. But yeah, in case you guys want to watch this. Like, I didn't cry when I watched it. But I felt stuff. So if I see people crying, then I start crying. I mean, but like, you know, like tears down, you know. You almost did. Surprisingly, I did feel a lot. I agree with that. I did feel much more than I expected. How did I miss this news? It was last night, very, very late. So it's very understandable to miss the news. Oh, the reactions. Maybe I should have posted it on my main channel as well, but it's fine, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I'd like some more, I'd like more content. Is there more stuff to watch? Stellarblade 2 is in development. Yep. We saw that too. More coming today. Is there any like theory videos that you guys know of? Like maybe somebody made a like, yeah, this is why I think Guild Wars 3 is coming. Those kind of videos? Conspiracy theories? I want to watch them. A lot of them, yeah. I looked but couldn't find anything. No. Yeah, sorry, you got timed out, but I see your link, Guild Wars 3. I did sign up yesterday. I think. No, I didn't. Wait, no, I wishlisted on Steam, I think. Wait, I don't remember what I did, actually. Oh, actually, I think the link was broken. I think I was gonna do it. Was I the first person who said Guild Wars? At least judging by the reaction videos, I think I was the first person who was like Guild Wars, because I saw MMO, I was like, Guild Wars! There's no other MMO right now. But they had a lot more knowledge, because they recognized like races, and I think they recognized the place. They said, is that, what was it? Is that ore or something? I don't know what that is. Guild Wars has story. That's true actually. No, that's true. He did say Guild Wars has stories, which is wild. It's a wild statement, but true. Sorry, what is that?
Very public speculation from the community that, well, there isn't one in development right now.
2 weeks ago. You know what? Let's watch this. From the start. I don't think there's any face, so we'll just make the the gameplay full.
Another day, another new MMO dies. New world, Ashes of Creation, Riot MMO back to the
It's
drawing board.
rough.
Is there anything that can save us from playing the same games we've been playing for 10 years and not just be a temporary vacation before inevitably imploding? Well, actually, yeah, there is. It's Guild Wars 3. Let's get straight to the point. Well, actually, yeah, there is. It's Guild Wars 3.
Look at the logo. Close.
Let's get straight to the point here. You might be wondering why I'm talking about a game that hasn't even been announced yet, and you'd be right to wonder. So let's talk about exactly why.
Honestly, 2 weeks ago, I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna watch this. But like now, please give me more videos like this.
Guild Wars 3 is likely to be announced this year, and why I think a full release is probably within 2 to 3 years. The
He's
most
right.
important thing to get out of the way is to simply talk about
crazy.
what's happening at ArenaNet, the studio that develops the Guild Wars franchise. First of all, ArenaNet has been hiring for an unannounced Unreal Engine project as far back as 2021, so this has been cooking for a long time, which is a good
And yeah, I'll go live on YouTube as well. Give me just a second. So they've been working on this since 2021. Or maybe they had people before, like they shifted their team. But in 2021 is when they realized they need more people, basically. That's very fast, isn't it? Like, that's not a very long time. Have they announced when they started working on this? Okay, let's go back a bit.
Wars franchise. First of all, ArenaNet has been hiring for an unannounced Unreal Engine project as far back as 2021, so this has been cooking for a long time, which is a good thing if we want a game soon, because, well, MMOs take a long time to develop. Guild Wars 2 itself took about 6 years. Now, at the time, a few...
Which Guild Wars took 6 years?
Guild Wars 2 itself took about...
Guild Wars 2 took 6 years? That's faster than I expected, honestly.
6 years. Now, at the time, a few job listings didn't really stir up a huge amount of discussion. It was mostly assumed to be some kind of companion game, not a full-fledged MMO at all. However, the job listings continued to pile up, and over time became more specific, from a simple Unreal project to a Unreal MMO in an existing fantasy IP, and then, more recently, the listing that...
Wait, where did it say that? Wait. Go back.
Time became more specific, from a simple Unreal project to a Unreal MMO in an
They actually said MMO in their job listings?
existing fantasy IP, and then, more recently, the listing that has really got people thinking just outright confirms that the unannounced project is an MMO set in the Guild Wars universe. I wonder what on earth that could be. So yeah, it is a near certainty that Guild Wars 3, or whatever they're going to call it, is currently in development, and likely fairly deep into development at that. However, that alone wouldn't get me fully locked in on Guild Wars 3 being...
Really? I feel like that's pretty much confirmed, isn't it? Like, why on earth would they look for people to work on an unannounced MMO if it's not the next MMO?
Being pretty close. The actual elephant in the room is that the next Guild Wars 2 expansion has not been confirmed at all, despite very public speculation from the community that, well, there isn't one in development right now. To be clear, I'm not saying that ArenaNet hasn't dropped the expansion name, storyline, trailer, and so on. That wouldn't make any sense. The current expansion isn't over yet. I'm specifically pointing out that the next expansion hasn't been confirmed to exist. For contrast here, the current expansion, Visions of Eternity, was confirmed all the way back in December 2023. Now, I should say that the circumstances there were different. The game had just shifted from a new yearly expansion model, and well, there were some anxieties that the game might flop over dead, so the studio very much wanted to assure the player base that the game had a long future ahead of it. But there have been no such assurances for what's happening after this expansion, and because of the rampant speculation about the future of the game, the same anxieties are very much back. And it will be a completely trivial thing for the studio to simply say, yeah, there is another expansion in development, and that's it. And bear in mind, the way Guild Wars 2 expansions work is that they are essentially back-to-back. When one ends, which will be in August approximately, about 3 months later the next one will drop, which is really not a long time away, so sooner or later, we will be finding out what's cooking. The combination of the job listings and the lack of Guild Wars 2 expansion confirmation, in my opinion, makes it extremely likely that there is no current Guild Wars 2 expansion in development.
They did say, however, that they are planning to keep up with all of their games. They're not planning to like cease development or anything, or cease new content in Guild Wars 2. They are planning to continue with content for Guild Wars 2 as well.
And that Guild Wars 3 will be announced sometime this year, likely after the finale of Visions of Eternity. And
we'll know today. I think they said that, didn't they? But yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, they might confirm the new Guild Wars 2 expansion today. Yeah. That's what they said for Guild Wars 1 after Guild Wars 2 launch. This is what I'm so afraid of. You know, this is the problem when these companies make new games, like that's why like I find it difficult to believe in a WoW 2 as well, because I feel like the previous game will get kind of, lagging behind naturally. And to be fair, I think it does come from the fact that most players end up quitting because most players move on to the newer game. And like it's funny because RuneScape is the only game that's now had the backwards thing happen, because like with the modern RuneScape, like people kept moving on to the new one, blah blah blah. But then like over time, more and more people went back to the classic version of it, right? And now it reached a point where the classic one is like, I don't know, maybe even more popular than the new one. And now they're adjusting the new one to be more similar to the old one. And the old one is getting, new content all the time. I mean, I call it old, but like the classic version of the game is getting new content all the time. It's like 10 times more. It is, right? I didn't want to dare say it as a statement, but I believe so. I believe the classic RuneScape is more popular than the new one. And because of that, they are making content for both games. But I think when the player base goes down, naturally they will start caring less as well. Not because they want to, but because, a business is a business, right? Because I think with Final Fantasy 14 as well, right? Like 14 will get more updates and more love than 11 because 14 is more popular. So at the end of the day, if Guild Wars 3 is more popular than Guild Wars 2, it will take priority. If Guild Wars 2 somehow is more popular than Guild Wars 3, then Guild Wars 2 will get priority. I think it just depends on which one is priority. But I guess what they're trying to ensure is just to let you know that there will still be updates. They're not going to stop making expansions. But I can believe that it will slow down though. And then they will, test the waters and see, are people still playing Guild Wars 2? Are most people moving on to the next one? Things like that. I'm also curious how much of your Guild Wars 2 will follow into Guild Wars 3, if any at all. Because I could imagine maybe there's some like cool special items for people who played Guild Wars 2. Didn't you guys say that there's things like that from Guild Wars 1? In Guild Wars 1, you can do certain like long quests or whatever, get some cool stuff, and then you get like some kind of equivalent thing in Guild Wars 2. Yeah. I think those are really nice. Because also, if the game keeps on going, it also gives incentive for a Guild Wars 3 player to give Guild Wars 2 a try. Because they want to get that thing in Guild Wars 3, so they play Guild Wars 2. So I think there's definitely a way to like give the games a bit of a symbiosis, or like a synergy treatment. But yeah, it's hard. Like running one MMO is hard, and running multiple is insane. But they're doing it. They're doing it.
Next year for Guild Wars 2 will serve as a bridge year while 3 is finished. Interestingly,
I'm going to go back a bit because I
sometime
missed
this
what's
year,
happening here.
likely after the development, and that Guild Wars 3 will be announced sometime this year, likely after the finale of Visions of Eternity.
Oh, he didn't expect it now? Finale of Visions of Eternity. He expected it in August. This is 2 weeks ago.
And the next year for Guild Wars 2 will serve as a bridge year while 3 is finished. Interestingly, the Guild Wars franchise even has a system to connect games together called the Hall of
we just
Monuments,
talked about it.
where achievements in Guild Wars 1 will unlock cosmetics and special titles in Guild Wars 2. I think it's probable that Guild Wars 2 will have the same system, which will then take the place of the missing Guild Wars 2 expansion. Basically a victory lap for the game that will task players with completing everything to get some fun unlocks in the next game. There is actually some precedent for ArenaNet leaning into systems.
Living World Return Season 2 begins now? What does that mean? Oh, this is 2021. Never mind.
Fun unlocks in the next game. There is actually some precedent for ArenaNet leaning into systems like this, by the way. In a year-long content drought, ArenaNet ran something called Season of the Dragons, which rewarded players for playing through the entire game from start to finish while waiting for an expansion to launch. Oh look, it's breaking news time. During the editing for this video, something rather interesting happened. NCSoft, the parent company of ArenaNet, filed the trademark for Mistbound. And because this typically happens before some kind of announcement from ArenaNet, I do want to quickly comment on it.
So, is that the new expansion name?
I think it's fairly unlikely that Guild Wars 3 would have a subtitle, so I don't think that this is Guild Wars 3. I also don't think it's a Guild Wars 2 expansion, or at least not in the same way we would expect it now.
Really?
If this is some kind of Guild Wars 2 release, I'd expect it to be different, likely a bridge between Guild Wars 2 and 3, like I mentioned previously. The reason I think that is because if they have been planning an expansion all along, they would have just said so to quell all of the uncertainty. However, if they are cooking something for 2 that isn't what we've been getting for the last few years, then it would make sense to keep it a bit under wraps so as to not set expectations. Some people might say Mistbound is the long-awaited Guild Wars card game, but I don't think so. ArenaNet may
The Windows error sound. I've never watched his videos, but he's very good at like talking and editing.
The long-awaited Guild Wars card game, but I don't think so. ArenaNet may have called the Guild Wars 1 relaunch Reforged, but I find it hard to believe that they'd name a card game Mistbound when Riftbound exists. But stranger things have happened, so who knows?
Stranger things have happened.
Regardless, the Mistbound thing is a very interesting curveball, and quite an exciting one at that. It doesn't change my perspective really on the timeline for Guild Wars 3. If anything, it accelerates it. If Mistbound is some kind of connection between Guild Wars 2 and 3, then it's entirely possible that both may end up getting announced before Visions of Eternity is even over, because they can't announce a tie-in expansion without announcing the next game too. It's funny, there are actually quite a lot of good opportunities to drop a new title over the next few months, and I will be very much paying attention to all of them to see what happens. Exciting times. All right, so we're on board with Guild Wars 3 existing, but why won't it just burn brightly before landing in the foundry of failed creations like the rest of the new MMOs? Well, I think the best way to answer that question is to look at why all of the recent failed MMO projects actually failed. To be frank, there is one word to describe Ashes of Creation and New World: amateur. These projects primarily failed, in my opinion, thanks to a lack of experience in the MMO genre, leading to extremely poor decisions and then impossible to recover situations. That's quite charitable to Ashes, but you get the point. New World did
That is charitable to Ashes. I think that's more like Ashes of Scam.
a full 180 from PvP to PvE and released a completely unfinished game. New World did a full 180 from PvP to PvE and released a completely unfinished game, which immediately and permanently ruined its reputation. And while it could
New World was extremely popular at the beginning. I don't know if you guys remember, but it was extremely popular. Like, the entire world was looking at it. If it was a complete PvE game at the time, it could have been insane. I think new MMOs still make this mistake. I don't know if Guild Wars will do it, where they make PvP MMOs. I don't know why they think people want PvP MMOs. Where does that even come from? There's a reason like WoW dropped the PvP focus. Because people want PvP MMOs. But this is a, what's the word? It's bait. It's not real. People are not looking for PvP MMOs. I think there's a loud minority who wants it, but in the grand scheme of things, people do not want a PvP MMO. Why would you want a PvP MMO when there's incredible PvP games out there? Like, why would you play a game that will be, which will take 10 steps to play the PvP, if you can just download a PvP game, which throws you right into it? Which could be in the form of, you know, MOBAs, like League of Legends, could be in the form of shooters, it could be in the form of, like, so many different things, right? I think people who primarily want PvP it's not a big population in the MMO space. I think having a PvP side game, it's a fallacy. What does fallacy mean? I think PvP as a side game is nice. I like PvP in WoW, for example. I do wish they would give it a bit more love with balancing and stuff like that, but I do like PvP in WoW. Like, I think having 2v2, having 3v3, having solo shuffle I think is cool, having BGs, you know, having things like that I think is great, but PvP cannot be the main end game of an MMO. Fallacy and mistaken belief. Okay, yeah, I think that's a good word. It's a fallacy, yes. I believe so, very strongly. Main mistake New World made was they released an MMO with no endgame because they pivoted. Yeah. Yeah. Well, because they thought the PvP would carry it. The PvP of, like, taking over the zones and, like, competing with each other and, like, you know, like that thing, right? Because you could take over zones, which would then give you the power over the things like auction house of that zone. You get money whenever people use the auction house, and you have the wars between the different zones and stuff like that. But people didn't want that as an end game. So many of us played New World. Actually, I remember. Yeah, we had lots of people in the community play it as well. Because they were also really generous. They gave me hundreds of keys. So I gave, like, everybody in chat got a New World key. I mean, okay, let's put it like this. Who in this chat right now was with me when New World came out and got a key from me? I gave out hundreds. I do remember having hundreds. I got it. You didn't get one, Clubby? That's crazy. Me, but I gave it away. Me. I don't know anyone who paid for New World. I got one. I can't remember. I didn't get a key because I bought it myself. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I bought the game myself. Not me, but I played for 1,200 hours. That's crazy. But yeah, no, I had tons of keys. I was giving away tons of keys, but also I may not have given them all away in the first day. So people who wanted to play, they probably bought it themselves. But over the course of a few weeks, I gave away like hundreds of keys. But yeah, I think people who believe, I'll tell you one thing though. One of the reasons that a lot of companies go for the PvP endgame, they hold on to the fact that people say they want a PvP endgame, right? Like they see Bob and, like, I don't know, and Bobby and whoever else is asking for PvP and MMOs. They're like, yeah, see, people want it. People want PvP in the endgame. And then the reason why they do it, why they implement it, is because it's cheaper. It's cheaper to make a system in the game that relies on people creating the game. It's cheaper than designing PvE content. That is the truth why a lot of new MMOs go towards the PvP route. And none of them are successful. I mean, New World ended up pivoting to PvE, and it became pretty good towards the end, which is why it's so sad. Like, towards the end of New World development, it was actually starting to reach a point when it was starting to be good, but it took too many years. Ashes of Creation, PvP from the start. I mean, the problem with Ashes of Creation is a lot to do with scamming, so it's a whole different story. But they also wanted to go for a PvP MMO, and it's just not good. Elder Scrolls Online still kicking, surprisingly. Elder Scrolls Online, I would not say is a PvP MMO, is it? Oh, Lorenity, hey, Annie, I kind of hate this, but do you mind chatting around 5 instead? I kind of hate this, but we're up with all the hype. I just need to quick... Lorenity, go for it. If you can't talk today, we can talk tomorrow as well. It is absolutely no stress. I'm just so excited to, like, talk about all this stuff. I'm fine tomorrow. I'm fine whenever. Take your nap. Don't feel bad. Go sleep. I know you were up late last night. You were still streaming when I went off. And yeah, I was on... According to my standards, pretty late. So yeah, no, go to sleep. We can talk tomorrow, whenever, because I know you got some evening business stuff. So yeah, that's no worries. You, Debasian, no worries at all. Go get your sleep. It's no stress. She ended around 7 a.m.? I thought I went to bed late. I slept like 4 a.m. And I thought that was late. Yeah, no, Laurent, go to sleep. Oh my god, I didn't realize she was up that long. Okay, yeah, no, I end the stream around 2 a.m. I think. 2, 3, something like that. But yeah, go to sleep. We talk tomorrow if it has to be. It's no stress. This is not like a, like a corporal meeting or something. This is just a chill yapping. We can do that tomorrow. Get your sleep. It's no stress. Is there a mod that can help me get message? I'm so happy. I just want her to know how much she helped us. Wait, in what way? Sorry, I missed that. I want to say thank you. You covered a game a bit ago on one of the showcases, and today we're the #1 campaign in all of Kickstarter. We owe you a lot of content creators. Oh. Oh, what game was that? I'm very happy to hear that though. I'm very happy to. Congratulations, then good job. A boba. But yeah, 7 a.m. is insane. ESO endgame was heavily PP when it launched. They've since pivoted away over time. Oh, okay. I guess I don't know the original story of ESO because I didn't really play it at the time. But when I was playing it, it didn't feel like it was PvP. Maybe that's when the pivot already happened. And also, when I think of like an Elder Scrolls game, I think of other Elder Scrolls games. So I assume that it's similar to them. So I assume PvP is not a part of it. But yeah. Every PvP focus and mode doesn't do well. Yeah, I don't think so either. Okay, let's keep watching this. What was this category called? Why won't it fail? Yeah, okay, so let's see why he thinks it's not gonna fail.
You get the point. New World did a full 180 from PvP to PvE and released a completely unfinished game, which immediately and permanently ruined its reputation. And while it could have recovered and tragically was in a fairly good state shortly before its shutdown announcement, ultimately the devs just spent so much time wrangling the engine and figuring out a regular content plan that the game never had a chance to fully recover before presumably the money ran out. Ashes was in some senses similar, but infinitely more extreme. The most overscoped and...
It was so sad because, like I said before, New World was getting to a point where it was starting to become good. But it was too late. It took too long.
Ashes was in some senses similar, but infinitely more extreme. The most overscoped and overdue project since Star Citizen, led by a guy who thought releasing a Battle Royale version of the game was a good idea.
What? I didn't even know about this. What the heck?
I think that says it all. Clown Fiesta doesn't even begin to do it justice. There are many videos explaining exactly what went down with Intrepid and Ashes of Creation, and I leave it as an exercise to the viewer if you want to dive down that rabbit hole. My point in explaining this is to contrast both of those failed projects with ArenaNet. ArenaNet
Was Steven shady? I obviously don't know everything, but from what I heard, yes. He did a lot of very questionable things, and he lied about it, he gaslighted people, he blamed other people, and took a lot of the money for his own mansions and whatnot. Yeah.
has a very long history in the MMO industry and has not one but two highly successful and very long history. This is to contrast both of those failed projects with ArenaNet. ArenaNet has a very long history in the MMO industry and has not one but two highly successful and critically acclaimed MMOs, Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2.
Oh,
I think
like
it's
the
particularly
waving.
exciting to note that Guild Wars 1, which entered maintenance mode during the Guild Wars 2 era, actually very recently restarted development with a successful semi-relaunch thing called...
That's insane. Actually, knowing that they're making a Guild Wars 3, it's insane that they would re-pick up Guild Wars 1. Maybe they really want to do that system of like connecting the three games together. So like playing Guild Wars 3, you actually may want to do Guild Wars 1 to like get the rewards of the, later one. We even got a raid in Guild Wars 1. Yeah, that's crazy. Generating hype for the IP. Yeah. Very cool. Could also be getting old school Guild Wars 1 players hyped for Guild Wars 3. True, but I feel like a lot of those people are potentially already in Guild Wars 2, and like I feel like you don't need new content in Guild Wars 1 to make those people try Guild Wars 3. I also think it's a very small population in comparison to Guild Wars 2, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's something that they're looking at that they can utilize for Guild Wars 3. Maybe in the form of the system that they talked about before, where if you do content in 1 or 2, you get, cool cosmetics in 3. I think it's because of that. Because I think the Guild Wars 1 population is relatively small. I don't think that's like a market that they are trying to like poach into Guild Wars 3. I feel like that would, that would not be very, might be a waste of money. But yeah, so I think it's more that they want to do things with it alongside Guild Wars 3. Muckluck mentions a lot. Not everyone that likes Guild Wars 1 likes 2, and so on. Some Guild Wars 2 might not be at all, so on and so forth. For sure. But I still don't think that Guild Wars 1 has such a big population for them to be like, guys, let's like put in lots of money into making new content to Guild Wars 1 to like get those people to play 3. Because I think it's a relatively small population compared to like Guild Wars 2, for example, or just reaching new players in general.
Actually very recently restarted development with a successful semi-relaunch thing called Guild Wars Reforged. Yeah, at least one Reforged title worked out well.
Oh, Warcraft Refunded. I remember that I had a bunch of bugs when I was playing this, and people told me, like, this bug is only because it's reforged. It was not in the original. It's like, how do you make a new version that has more bugs than the original? Like, do you remember when I was playing my character and, like, in the story mode, and, like, my character sometimes would randomly go invisible? So, like, I didn't know where my character is. I couldn't know how much HP they have. I couldn't see anything. And if I would, like, reload the save, it was stuck in the save. I had to like go back like a few steps I had to like restart missions to be able to see the character. It was awful. As a dev, I can absolutely understand. Oh god, so awful. But yeah, to be fair, Warcraft 3 is still going strong. People just turn off the Reforged graphics. Oh yeah, it wasn't just the Reforged graphics. I was playing Classic as well. But specifically in the campaign, like the story mode of it was pretty rough because I was going through bugs that made it a bit difficult to play. I had to restart missions because randomly, like, my characters would be invisible. I couldn't see them. So I wouldn't know how to move them around and stuff like that. Oh, is that fixed? Because I didn't even play it on release. I played it like 1 or 2 years later, and it was still like that. And so it was, yeah, it was a little bit embarrassing. Like, well, how is this happening? Let's see. Oh, it was Shade Protocol, Metroidvania game where you cut the world in half. Oh! Wait, I think I remember that. I remember that mechanic of cutting the world, because I remember saying to my chat, like, whoa, that's unique. I haven't seen that before. That was cool. But yeah, let's go.
Launch thing called Guild Wars Reforged. Yeah, at least one Reforged title worked out well. Incidentally, the restarting of Guild Wars 1 development is very much an indication that Guild Wars 2 development will not be stopping even in a Guild Wars 3 reality.
Yeah, it won't
indication. Be the main focus anymore, which will of course reduce content output, but I think ArenaNet's goal is very much to run all 3 games at the same time, as all 3 will likely serve somewhat different audiences in addition to the overlap. This does seem to be a bit of an industry trend too. RuneScape and World of Warcraft are the 2 examples that come to mind, where the developers
But World of Warcraft is, so old school RuneScape is doing exactly that. I think World of Warcraft hasn't found its footing yet. I think because the issue with World of Warcraft now, it has retail, but then it has like 5 different versions of Classic. And I think for WoW, for like a long-term stability, what it needs to do is get one, which I'm assuming might be what they're gonna announce at BlizzCon this year. Yeah, WoW is all over the place. It's confusing. It's confusing for me. Imagine somebody who doesn't play as much WoW as I do. It's confusing. I think what they need to do is they need to hone in on one version of Classic, which will be the main thing. And I don't mean this new one, which is now in the Mists of Pandaria, because I don't consider Mists of Pandaria Classic anymore. So what they need is like a Classic Plus. They need something where, like, I don't know, you end at level 60 and make new content and like let that run its course forever. Or like alongside retail. I think that's what we need. We need like another WoW, which is basically like old school RuneScape, or like Guild Wars 1 now with the new developments, and potentially what Guild Wars 2 is going to be in the future. They need a version of the game that will just continue. No like season of masteries, a season of this. I mean, I think it's fine for them to do these projects. I think it's been probably a lot of learning curves in it, or a lot of learning like lessons in doing them. But I think no more seasons. That's sod, no. The problem with those is that they have a lifespan. They do this like cool thing with new mechanics, blah blah. It reaches the end and then it's over. I think what they need is something that like continues forever. So it's like not meant to be a fun project for some time, but like a continuation thing. Solid Season 1 was so good. It was fun, but the problem I see with these, like, short projects in Classic is that it becomes scattered. You get too many different versions of the game, and for people, eventually it becomes confusing. Because you have, like, season of this, they have season of that, they have season of that, and, like, it becomes too many games. And then, like, they all eventually die down because, you know, there's no more updates to that game mode. So what they need is, like, a Classic Plus, basically. A WoW Classic, which is kind of like OSRS. They get their own content and their own, like, progression system that stays, you know, for lifetime, basically. I think that's what the game needs. Instead of these mini games that end after a year or two, to have a continuous one. And I believe that's what they will announce at BlizzCon, because I think they know it too. But I think they did a lot of these, like, Season of Mastery, Seasons of Discovery, or whatever, because they wanted to try out different things, you know, go wild with it. And I think that's okay. I think having some, like, little game modes, game projects for a year here and there to try out some new mechanics is cool. Season of Discovery was very exciting. But I don't think it's. I don't think they should have only that. I think they need one classic mode which continues, which is not the classic, which is copying what retail is, but 10 years later, or 15, I don't know. But rather like its own progression, and I think that's what they need. OSS has found their own secret sauce. Blizz need to work out their sauce, what their sauce should be. Yeah. Seasons feel weird in MMOs to me. That's a lot of effort just to abandon a character and start over. Yeah. Exactly. So if they make a Classic Plus where you keep your character, maybe make it max level 60, but, you know, come up with raids, new raids, you know, not just the old retail raids with slight, you know, alterations, but actually new raids, maybe even alternate stories potentially. The stories don't have to go super deep, but they can play around with, like, some fan-made stories from the past, you know? I think things like that is probably what they need. What's the point of making new content in Classic? So I think that it would be good for people who enjoy the classic way of playing WoW to have a home. That's why. Because I think if you have Classic Era, okay, well, once all the raids are out and stuff, there's nothing else to do. And then people want a new fresh server. And then a new fresh server, and then a new fresh server. And then if you do the one where it copies retail, well, then eventually it becomes retail, right? Classic WoW is now in Mists of Pandaria. It's pretty much retail. And then you have the Season of Discoveries and those things. They're limited time events, which are really fun, but they're limited time. So I feel like what Classic players need, people who love the gameplay and simplicity of Classic, and, you know, its own difficulties, for those people to have a home, I think would be very nice. Because right now they're all scattered everywhere. And I think that's a bit sad. Some people are in, I don't know, Classic Era. Is there TBC Era? There's like a bunch of different places. Everyone is scattered everywhere. I think it would be nice to have Classic players have their own game mode. And this is the Classic. And then they might get new raids and new content, which is not retail-y. It's gonna stick to, like, the design philosophy of what Classic was. And yeah, well, it makes sense if those people are going to fund the development of it. Many not commercially stack up. Yeah, I mean, that would be a business decision that Blizzard would have to make, and then they would have to see if it's, you know, successful. But I think it's probably better for the future of Classic players to have a place that they can call home instead of these, like, multiple projects everywhere all the time. I think eventually people get tired of it because, you know, a lot of people play MMOs because they want their one character, you know, and having to, like, keep restarting for different things eventually I think maybe isn't very fun. I think Classic people would either want nor appreciate the new content. Majority of them are stuck in nostalgia, hating anything new. Hashtag no changes situation. I do think a lot of Classic players would appreciate new things that still feels old, if that makes sense. Classic private server team was able to fund their development for years and made multiple raids in complete zones. Wait, did Turtle WoW actually create raids and zones? Like new content? I didn't know that. But that's exactly what I think Classic needs. They were so good? Okay, I had no idea. It's why they were so popular. I think maybe that's why they shut them down. So my idea is that what they need is no modern changes. Like, don't turn it into retail, but add more content so that the feeling of classic is still there. Basically, don't add like 10 new spells for every class. Make it like still as simplistic as it is. Change as little as possible, but add new content. As someone who doesn't play WoW, Classic is retail but with less DLC. Did the gameplay change that much over time that it feels different enough between both? Yes, it has changed that it feels very different in between. It's changed a lot. It's 20 years of development. Feralion, thank you! 2-month resub. They had new area, high elves and stuff. Okay, interesting. That's really interesting. They're required to legally hunt all private servers because they infringe on the RP. If you don't protect RP, it can legally be deemed abandoned and the private servers become legal. The thing is, private servers have existed for a long time though, and they don't always bother shutting them down because it's a lot of time and effort and money to go through with it. But I think that they went through with this Turtle WoW thing now in that case because they're so close to announcing something similar. I think. The primary reason they were shut down is supposedly because they were advertising donations for premium in-game goodies. Oh, so like they were making money of it. Interesting. Because they started marketing it. Okay, yeah, that could be it. I don't know. I didn't read into it. But I was just curious because I didn't realize they made new content. Because that's what I think is exactly what Classic needs. But yeah, anyways, let's see. Pretty much every private server is paid to win to some extent. Most of them are too small for Blizzard to care though. So it could be a size thing as well. Alright, let's keep listening.
On Trend 2, RuneScape and World of Warcraft are the two examples that come to mind, where the developers run multiple versions of the game that are very distinct from one another so that players can play the one that they prefer. Another advantage to this strategy is also that you can bridge content release gaps in each game with content from others, which encourages players to engage with multiple titles within the same ecosystem.
WoW does a terrible job at this, by the way. They release a new expansion in WoW Classic and in retail, like within a week from each other. They do not use it as bridges. They announce things and release things at the same time. You always have to decide, do I want to prioritize Classic or retail? Yeah, they suck at it, actually. It's horrible. I'm mad about that every time because I enjoy both. Yeah, same. I remember, I remember Shadowlands was like a big expansion that happened at some point, and I think we were about to play, was it TBC or Wrath in Classic? And then I was like, guys, I'm sorry, but I'm focusing Shadowlands. I'm not going to play this. It was during Nax. Yeah, it was during Nax. I was looking forward to Nax. I was like, never mind. But yeah.
So it's a bit of a win-win for everyone involved. We got slightly derailed there, but I think it's safe to say that ArenaNet...
So did we. Actually, we also got derailed.
...are pretty good at making these games. Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2 are both long-running and very good. Additionally, and perhaps more importantly, ArenaNet have had a lot of time to learn from the journey of developing two full-grown MMOs over 20 years. I mentioned development and content planning as a key mistake that New World in particular made, and amusingly, it's also the main mistake ArenaNet made with Guild Wars 2. In fact, I think Guild Wars 2 would almost certainly be significantly more popular than it is today if they had launched with a better development strategy, instead of having to flip between a few different models, which led to major content drought, content quality, and multiple game mode support issues. Trust me, it wasn't a good time. The point is, ArenaNet are definitely aware of that blunder, and I think it will likely be one of their key focus points when planning out a strategy for Guild Wars 3. And there's a good reason to think that they have a plan too. The current yearly Guild Wars 2 expansion model, combined with releasing on Steam, has proven to be both stable and maintainable while also being extremely profitable for ArenaNet.
Oh, yearly earnings. Oh, okay, this is really... Okay, so they dropped a lot. I mean, it's normal to drop after a release. Like, release is the most hype time, so it makes sense. But what's interesting is this bit here. In 2019, they reached basically, like, their rock bottom, I guess you could say, in terms of profit. And then, Steam release happened here, 2022, and it's been pretty consistent since then. Oh, it's new expansion model and Steam release. And it's been pretty consistent since then. Went up with Shadowlands. Oh, that's actually a fair point. I think 2020 was a successful year for all MMOs except WoW. Don't forget COVID. That's true too. Yeah, that's true as well. But also it was the literal dumpster of WoW times. Everybody was looking for new MMOs. I do think Final Fantasy XIV got the biggest part of that cake. But yeah, I can imagine some people also went to Guild Wars 2. It was funny because Final Fantasy XIV was... I'm sure they did a lot of smart stuff too, but you know, with everything, there's always a bit of like a luck, what's it called? A luck factor, because they started Component Factor. They started heavily marketing their game right before WoW became really bad. So I remember I was sponsored to play Final Fantasy XIV, and I was like, oh, like, this new MMO. I mean, new for me. New MMO, like, interesting. I'm actually having fun. And it was around the time that people were sick of WoW, so people were like, play more, please play more. And I was like, sure, why not? I mean, I'm having fun. And then I kept playing. And if they hadn't sponsored me, I may not have like discovered it, right? I mean, it is possible that my chat may have told me about it, but this was also the case for a lot of other WoW streamers and a lot of streamers in general. Everybody was trying out Final Fantasy XIV because they put on full marketing, and they sponsored every WoW streamer and just, well, every streamer, maybe every MMO streamer in general, to play Final Fantasy XIV. And it wasn't like a 2-hour sponsor, okay? It was like, we're sponsoring you for 5 streams, 2 hours each for the next 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, damn, like, that's a lot of hours. Like, they were super serious about the marketing. Like, it was a lot. Like, get all of them. Get all the streamers into this. And it happened exactly at the same time as Shadowlands. And naturally, that made all of the people, you know, pivot into that game. Yeah, then we had the Black Chocobo event. Massive Drops event was the first time that I had seen on Twitch, at least, where you can gift subs to get a mount. And that caused a lot of, like, I guess, media coverage, because it was like, oh, damn, like, there's this mount you have to watch on Twitch and blah, blah, blah. And it was crazy. Yeah, the 4 subs for a mount too. Yeah. 36,000 subs. Yeah, no, it was insane because I was one of the few WoW streamers who continued playing the game. Most WoW streamers just play WoW, right? But as you've seen lately, I play a lot of games, right? I do a lot of variety. I've played like 5 different games the past 5 days, or more maybe even. I play a lot of variety. And even back then, I was like probably the one WoW streamer who was most open to playing new games. So I enjoyed Final Fantasy XIV and I continued playing. And the team saw that. They're like, hey, like, we saw you enjoying Final Fantasy XIV. It's like the only WoW streamer who continued playing. They didn't say that, but like I knew. The only WoW streamer who continued playing after the sponsor. So like, we have this event happening in 2 days. Do you want to join? And then I was like, oh, like, you know, what kind of event is it? It was like 2 days before, by the way. Like, it was like super last minute. It's like, yeah, we're selecting, like, we have a select number of streamers who will have this drop where people can gift 4 subs and they get a mount in the game. And I was like, oh, wow, never heard of this drops thing. It was new back then. Never heard of drops. Sure, that sounds really cool. Maybe I can, like, unlock a couple emote slots or whatever, you know, because at the time, maybe you still need to, I don't know. You need to hit certain number of subs on Twitch to get emote slots. And and then at the time, my highest sub count was like 4,000. And you need 10,000 subs to get all the emote slots. I don't know if it's the same now, but it used to be that way before. And I was like, cool, you know, maybe at the end of the month, we will get really close to that number. And then maybe like I can also gift myself. And then maybe we can, you know, hit 10K. Maya, I can hear you. Maya, do you want to come here? And yeah, then the event happened. And I hit 10K subs in like 3 hours or something. Like the first day. And I was like, what is happening? It was insane. Maya! Maya! Come here! I can hear you. Pet the cat? Well, she's not coming here. She's just a loud cat. She likes talking when she's walking around. But yeah. At the end of the year, can you leak how much dollars you earned during that time? I don't remember, but it was a very high amount. However, I do have to say, because I peaked like 36,000 subs, right, in that month, which is insane. Like these days, I average like 1,000. Even back then, I think I was averaging around 1,000. But I have to say though that a lot of the subs were from like Asian countries where the sub count was very little. Sub cost was very little. So a lot of those subs were like $1 subs. So it may not be as much as you'd think, but still a lot because yeah, it's still a lot of subs. So yeah, it's still a lot of money, but yeah, some of those subs were really cheap subs. $1 broke boy subs. Yeah, I mean it's okay. I mean I think having different prices for different countries makes sense because of people's like economic situations and stuff like that. So I'm not mad about it, but yeah. So anyways, yeah, that was around this time, and I think that gave Final Fantasy XIV a lot of coverage, which is funny because if Guild Wars 2 had done that at the time, maybe Guild Wars 2 would have gotten, like, it would be like a massive bump, by the way. Final Fantasy XIV went up so much, and I think after that, they've probably gone down. But yeah, I do think it's nice when MMOs, like, put, what's it called? Like, do a lot of marketing using content creators as well, because it also gives us a chance to, like, want to give the game a chance, because it can be daunting to try a new MMO. Yeah, no, it's nice when they do. Guild Wars 2 had no marketing team until like a few months ago. Really? And maybe that's when they sponsored me. So Guild Wars 2 once sponsored me like 2 years ago or something, 2-3 years ago. But they wanted me to play the latest expansion. And I remember telling them like, this isn't very good for me or my viewers. It would be much better if I can just play from the beginning and start a fresh playthrough. And like, no, like it's really important for this like marketing direction for this time around. Like we want the campaign to be focused on this expansion. And well, it was difficult for me because Ololala, thank you for 27-month resub. Thank you. Because it's like that means I have to like skip so much. And like there's one thing where like, okay, maybe I could play a little bit beforehand and like reach that point, but that's not possible either because it's literally the latest expansion. How am I supposed to catch up with like 5-10 expansions? So at the time I was like, okay, I'm not even gonna try to catch up. I'll do the sponsor and then that's that. And it was difficult for me to enjoy it because I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, it's still a cool game, but like I didn't feel like I had a true experience of the game. So when they reached out to me, was it a few months ago, maybe a year ago at this point, with the sponsor this time, they said, you can do whatever you want. And I was like, nice. Okay, now I'm excited. And then I was like, okay, then I said on stream, guys, I was like, guys, I have a sponsor for this game and I can do whatever I want. I could literally like just, you know, make the character creation my sponsor, but I want the sponsor to be a bit more, you know, deeper than that. So let's start playing the game and I'll do the sponsor in like 3 weeks or something. And yeah, that was so much nicer, you know? Starting from the beginning, I took my time because I was given a much more fun sponsor, and that makes me want to give it a proper shot as well. And I think having a fresh experience is much more interesting for a viewer as well. It's more fun for me, and it's much more interesting for you guys as well. So then I did a fresh playthrough. And then I did my sponsor like 3 weeks later or something when I was a lot, you know, deeper into the game. And it felt great. And, you know, I've been happy since, basically. That expansion was weird for people that didn't know what was going on because they had that big gathering where everyone was discussing stuff. I remember it was like a politics show. Would have been so confused if I didn't know who anyone in that room was. Yeah, I had no idea who anybody was. Wait, is my YouTube active? Actually, it looks frozen. Is my YouTube stream working? Politics? Yeah, it was like a big, like, meeting. Among like I'm guessing a lot of important characters or something. True, the mentorship, true, yeah. And then we had the sponsor where they paired us up with an experienced player. Like I was with Larenity, and then they paired up Nagura with Mukluk, and I'm sure they did some other pairings as well. Like those are really cool. have a yap session with Lara today, right? Apparently she went to sleep at 7 a.m. So she was feeling stressed. I told her to just sleep. If she's up, we can maybe talk. Otherwise, we talk tomorrow. It's no stress. But yeah, that was also a great like marketing decision by Guild Wars as well. Oh, Teapot and the guy from Method. Ah, that was perfect. I think those were so fun sessions, actually. Muckluck and Laurenti are legends in the Guild Wars community. So I've learned, yeah. So I've learned. And today I get to know Teapot, because I didn't really know anything about him. This is the first video I've watched of him, and I like him. He's awesome. Like the way he talks about things and, you know, things like that. I think it's great. Okay, let me see. Okay, there we go. All right. Anyways, we went on a tangent. Let's go back and keep watching. I feel like I got to discover you through Lorenity. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I'm very happy to be here and enjoying Guild Wars 2 at my own pace, and people have been really nice. Like there hasn't been any like toxicity. So it's been nice, especially considering my variety journey that I'm doing currently with streaming, because I try to play all sorts of different games, and weaving in Guild Wars 2 progress here and there has been a lot of fun. Okay, let's go back a bit.
Model combined with releasing on Steam has proven to be both stable and maintainable while also being extremely profitable for ArenaNet, leading to a strong recovery in the game after quite a rough patch in the game's history. I'd very much expect a similar model to come into play right from the start of Guild Wars 3. On top of this, because ArenaNet already have multiple live games generating revenue for the studio, they don't need to do a new world and release the game long before it's ready. They have the funding to continue to develop the game and make sure it's finished, even if they do want to switch things up a little bit. Personally, I'd want to see a full roadmap and content plan for it.
What was that? Guild Wars 3 scrapped and remade from the ground up, now a script dating sim coming in 2030. Was a long time coming, really. ArenaNet know what the people want. Guild Wars 2 was pretty good, but many players noted that while the gameplay and visual direction were solid, it had a distinct lack of rodents to romance. What the heck? I like how he's just like talking, you know, as if like this is like a random article, you know, totally real story, and just like goes past it.
Want to switch things up a little bit.
Great humor.
Personally, I'd want to see a full roadmap and content plan for at least a year already in place by the time the game launches. Something I think is more or less mandatory for any serious new MMO project. It's not—
Who says it wasn't real? That was not a real article, right? Surely he just like F12'd it and edited the page. Surely. Or ChatGPT.
I think is more or less mandatory for any serious new MMO project. It's not enough just to make a splash. You have to convince players that your game isn't going anywhere and is therefore worth investing some time into, even over the games they're currently playing, which is no mean feat. The current MMOs all have their audiences and they are very good at serving them. Moving on from generally all happen over the games they're—
And new MMO is here. It's time to leave behind the 3,000 hours you've poured into this game and hop on. That's the difficult thing.
Currently playing, which is no mean feat. The current MMOs all have their audiences and they are very good at serving them. Moving on from general incompetence, something else that prevents many—
This is not Guild Wars 2, right? Oh, it's Aeon 2. I was like, what is this? Okay. I was like, hang on. Something looks off.
Good at serving them. Moving on from general incompetence, something else that prevents many newer
monetization, huh?
MMOs from taking off is, to put it mildly, anti-consumer business practice. Because MMOs are expensive to develop and run, or simply out of standard greed, it's pretty common for projects to be infected with the vile filth that is pay-to-win, loot boxes, battle passes, or whatever ultra-aggressive slop microtransactions happen to be
Slop! He said it!
popular that day. This isn't necessarily a death sentence per se, but it does limit the
It is a death sentence in the long run. I think every MMO which is pay to win will have a short lifespan. I think.
scale of the game's audience significantly. MMO players don't tend to take kindly to this type of monetization, so any game that has or introduces it will have
Wait, this guy?
kindly to this type of monetization, so any game
He used the same same picture, same back, like same everything, just changed the text a little bit.
that has or
Pay to lose. I mean, you know, if something works, why change it?
introduces it will have
Oh, it's actually not the exact same background picture.
zero hope of ever being the next actually good, actually popular MMO that
Yeah.
we're looking for.
Yeah.
On that note, I have good news. Guild Wars 1 and 2 are quite well known, notorious even, for being some of
having
the
very
most
good monetization,
consumer-friendly
yeah.
MMOs out there.
Oh, that's Josh's words. Guild Wars 2 is
known,
probably
notorious even,
the
for
best
being some of the
value
most
money
consumer-friendly
I've ever
MMOs
spent
out there,
on a video
operating
game.
on a non-subscription fee, buy-to-play model.
Yeah.
And while it's true that you can, of course, buy gold, cosmetics, and convenience items, the games thankfully do not have any elements that could be reasonably described as pay-to-win. I do have to mention that Guild Wars 2 does have loot boxes, and well, they are loot boxes, so even though you can just farm gold and buy almost everything in them, they are still loot boxes, which more or less define anti-consumer practice, but they are one of the most criticized parts of the game's monetization structure, and they've got ArenaNet in some hot water a couple of times, so I'd actually be pretty surprised if they actually made a return in Guild Wars 3. Let me cope.
Okay.
What I'm trying to get at here
Let
is
me
that
go.
Guild Wars 3 will almost certainly be a very consumer-friendly game, operating similarly to Guild Wars 1 and 2. ArenaNet
Inventory space bank times, that's pay to win. Yeah, I think usually in this regard, I think what he's talking about is like pay to win in the sense of like power. I think for a lot of people, they see power as being like the main bad thing with pay to win. A lot of people see things as inventory space, okay. Path of Exile, the only like pay to win aspect it has is basically inventory slots or inventory tabs, storage tabs, whatever they're called. And for most people, this is okay.
as a studio are very well known for holding high ethical standards when it comes to business practice, and as a mildly amusing side story, one of the major issues in Guild Wars 2's development was that they were giving a lot of their new content away for free, as long as you logged in while it was current. As you can imagine...
Oh, they changed that, yeah, because then the content disappeared after it wasn't relevant anymore.
That was...
Users will agree tabs is pay to win. Yeah, I mean in the like core definition of it, absolutely. But a lot of people see it as acceptable pay to win, so they're okay with that. They see pay to win more if it's like pay to power, basically.
It's a very good idea for the bottom line, but I think it does shine a light on how ArenaNet don't want to nickel and dime their player base, perhaps even too much for their own good. It's a little outside the scope of this video to talk about what I think Guild Wars 3 will be in detail, so to make sure I'm not talking forever, and that I've got more content for later, I'll be brief. Guild Wars 3 is likely going to be a full action combat horizontal progression MMO, releasing on console and PC with a heavy open world exploration focus.
He was right.
PvP is unlikely to be a heavy focus because they tried that with Guild Wars 1 and 2, and it really didn't work out super
They learned.
hot. Put it like this, I'll be very happy if the game has any significant PvP features in it. The reason I think full action is for a few reasons. ArenaNet love making more action-style combat. You can see this as far back as Guild Wars 1 actually, which even then didn't have a global cooldown and was much more animation and cast time oriented than other games at the time. And this is massively increased in Guild Wars 2, which very much amped up the action, so I think it's a natural progression.
I actually wish, maybe this is a boomer take, but I wish games reduced. And MMOs. I wish MMOs reduced the amount of, like, spells everywhere. WoW, Final Fantasy XIV, and Guild Wars 2 right now as well It's so much. I can't read what's going on. Like there's so many like colors and circles and things everywhere. I wish they would reduce it. I don't think animation is very important in casting my spells. And I don't mean like no animation, like Elden Ring, just like a swing of the sword. Obviously, you can have more than that. But I do feel like it's so much. And I think the inspiration comes from a lot of Asian games. I think in Asia, they do a lot. But yeah, I would love for them to see less. I would love to see less. Yeah, RuneScape winning again. True. Yeah. Classic has great visual clarity. Classic is definitely cleaner in that way, for sure. Retail, too much animations. Too many spell effects, yes. Especially when you're in group with other people. Then you really feel it. Classic has about 1 spell per minute happening, no wonder. Yeah, but it's cleaner. I think clean is nice. You know? It feels more effective when it's less, but sometimes more powerful, you know? Like the Warlock Chaos Bolt. It's like bam, like you know exactly how, you know what spell is being casted. But when you look at like how it is today, there's so many effects, and even sometimes like different buffs get all these like visual effects, and it's like I don't know what's going on. There's like so much stuff going on. It was yeah, I think Classic was much nicer in that way. Like I could see, like you know, with a mage, I see his what are they called, like the ice shards, and then like you know he uses ice lance, and I can see it happening. I know how ice lance looks like, but over time we just got so many spells, too much. I know you can turn off stuff, and I think even in WoW you can reduce it, but I still feel like there's so much stuff that's not needed, or at least not so much. Let me put it like this: we don't need so much generic animations where they don't look special in a certain way. It's just a color, it's just a circle, and it's just a flash, basically. I want the designs to be more like very specific and very readable. You know, like a Warlock Chaos Bolt. I know how that looks like. I know how a mage how a mage ice lance looks like, even though I never really played mage. I know how it looks like. I think it's nice when it's very specific designs, very few designs, less colors, and like, yeah, like that is how I see it. And I don't mean turn off animations, because that's usually what it does. If you reduce clutter with the settings that the games give us, it basically removes it. And I'm not looking for removal. I just want it to be more clear what it is. Yeah, that is why I quit FF14. It was just random shit everywhere. Yeah. I think a lot of the modern MMOs have this issue. Final Fantasy 14, WoW retail is also going there. And I think it's in Guild Wars as well, where it's just a lot. F14 is atrocious for it, flashbangs all the time. Yeah, I mean, maybe FF14 has the most of it, but yeah. One thing that would help with readability is if they design the combat so you don't stack as much anymore. Maybe. WoW retail slowly moving towards it. Yeah, no, WoW retail is absolutely there as well, for sure. For sure. Never seen your eyes this big. Okay. All right. Yeah. You literally cannot see a human-sized enemy in Guild Wars 2. Yeah, and that's a, you know, not very ideal question. I just saw a YouTube comment. It's the only YouTube comment I've seen. Since my chat is not working, it was frozen before. But yeah, all right, let's keep
Also, it's going to be multi-platform. Multiple job listings mention the unannounced project being multi-platform, meaning console is a near certainty. And well, action, combat, and consoles kind of go hand in hand. As long as I get an interface that makes action, combat, and console.
It's Monster Hunter? Yeah? Okay. I only from like the icons here, I felt like it's Monster Hunter. Okay.
Project being multi-platform, meaning console is a near certainty. And well, action, combat, and consoles kind of go hand in hand. As long as I get an interface that makes sense for PC and isn't entirely console first, I'm happy.
Yeah.
The reason I think Guild Wars 3 will have an open world, exploration focus, and horizontal progression is because those are simply the ArenaNet trademarks at this point. It would
be very, very, very silly to not go for the horizontal progression, which they have done so well and makes them different from like WoW and Final Fantasy 14 as well. For example, it would make them stick out. It's very good to stick with that. Ken, thank you very much for the 4-month resub. New generation gacha looter shooter with hot anime girls. Yeah, that's exactly what we're here for. Yeah. Not fully horizontal. I think throwing in a little bit of vertical here there can be okay, but yeah, as long as they don't go for like a full vertical, because what's the point of competing with WoW when like WoW is doing that? Also, I think vertical has its own frustrations, so doing something that's different is always nice because different people will seek different games. No, I've been yapping into the void here. I'm sorry, but I see YouTube comments now. My chat was frozen for YouTube before, but now I see them as well. Now I see YouTube comments. I prefer the horizontal with more build variety. Yeah. I want diagonal progression. A little bit of diagonal, sure. What's horizontal progression? Horizontal progression is, like if you imagine, like this is your character. Picking up a profession is horizontal. It's something that sticks with you. Like once you have the profession, like you have it and like you're expanding what your character can do, essentially. Getting more skills, getting more specs, getting more, like basically progressing on side things, essentially, is horizontal progression. Vertical is like leveling up. So yeah, it's more like side grades rather than going up. So in this game, for example, in the base game you hit level 80, and then you stop. You don't go higher than 80. So if you've missed 3 expansions or whatever, it doesn't matter. You can go back to an old expansion and your level is still accurate for that expansion. You can play it at any time. And so the nice thing with horizontal is that it means that there's not going to be a... If you want to play this expansion, it's down here, and if you want to play the latest expansion, is up here. And anything you do in this expansion is trash because, you know, the item level up here is so much more, right? That's how it is in WoW, you know? Like, if you want to play Mists of Pandaria in WoW, everything is basically gray. Like, I mean, to be fair, I think they've changed how leveling scales these days, but if you go into, like, you know, raids or, like, content and stuff like that, the gear that drops is all trash. The way that it is in Guild Wars 2 is if you want to go back to an old expansion, you might still get like upgrade items or other things that progresses your character in a way which is interesting, and it's not just trash because you're doing an old expansion. And the benefit of that means that the expansions are always relevant to a degree. I mean, there's some things which is very specific to that expansion, so you don't need it later. For example, you get your masteries for like that specific expansion. You may not need it for later, but it's just like it's side grades. It's like progressing your character in a way which isn't necessarily important for superpower, but it's like its own progression system. In short, your BIS gear from 5 years ago is still BIS. There is no catching up to do. Yeah, but they might maybe, you know, introduce a legendary in a slot that you didn't have a legendary before. Things like that. But yeah, there is other progressions in becoming stronger than just being level 80. But you can progress a lot of those things in many different places, basically. You don't farm necessarily everything in the latest expansion. It's a bit more like, I guess, everywhere. Horizontal progression is a failure. Guild Wars 3 shouldn't do it. So the main complaint that I've seen from people about horizontal progression is that it feels boring because you get, you know, the best gear and then like, what now? What am I supposed to do now? Some people don't like side grades. Cratera, thank you for the prime. I think that is, I mean, I think every opinion is fair, right? So maybe a game like WoW would be better in terms of like the excitement of constantly like farming better gear. But I think for the long run, I think it's healthier with horizontal progression. You could sprinkle in a little bit of vertical here and there, but I think it's less frustrations with having horizontal progression, and I think it's also more casual friendly, which we know all MMOs are realizing they need more casual friendly things. That's why we don't really have dailies in WoW anymore, you know. I mean, like a lot of things are getting catered to more casual players because that's how most people are playing the games these days. And if a game is built in a way where taking a few months break and coming back and your gear isn't suddenly trash is nice. Horizontal prog doesn't mean there's no vertical prog, it just doesn't focus solely on vertical prog. Yeah, you don't have to have like, it doesn't mean like pure, because you can get like, you know, like unlocking more skills can make you more powerful, right? Unlocking certain masteries might make you more powerful as well. But it's just more like spread out a little bit everywhere in how you become stronger. And then there's lots of legendaries that can be gained in many different ways, and those legendaries stay relevant. Like, let's say you got, like, I don't know, like a legendary legs from, like, 5 expansions ago. There may not be another legendary leg from 5, like, since then. So maybe your legendary legs are still good. Whereas in WoW, if you get a legendary from a certain expansion, as soon as a new expansion comes out, the green gear will replace your legendary, right? So that's how, like, the WoW progression is, where, you know, everything goes up and goes up very fast. That's why we keep needing, like, item level squishes and stuff like that. Whereas it's a bit different with how Guild Wars 2 gearing is designed. Not even new expansion, it's every patch now. Yeah, I mean, that's true too. To be fair, if there's a legendary, sometimes it might still be good, even if it's slightly less item level than, like, the next thing, but yeah. It's not just the gear. 99% of the entire game roll too. You literally sit in the patch hub and queue instances. Yeah, I think there's a lot of events in the world where if you go to an old expansion in Guild Wars 2, please correct me if I'm wrong, but in Guild Wars 2, if you go to an old expansion and you do the events of that zone, you still get, like, items that are relevant to your character at max level today. There's still things you can progress in the old zones, which will help you today, even though it's expansions ago. Yeah? Yeah. So, and that's also a strength of the game, because it means that you're not creating a massive new zone for just 2 years and then people forget about it. There's a reason to be there, even later on. We don't get new gear, we expand our toolbox. 2 years, try 6 months. How would you feel if the movement and exploration feels like Breath of the Wild? That's the vibe I got from the trailer and Steam page. Is Breath of the Wild a good comparison? Maybe. I do like how the trailer felt. It felt very smooth, soft, I guess. There's always a little bit of a worry where, like, it starts feeling a little bit too, like, cartoony, too Fortnite-y. But I think that they reached a very good place with where the trailer was that I think looked good. There was, I didn't like the art style at all from the trailer. I was a little bit concerned because in some angles it felt like, ooh, this is starting to feel like, you know, the Fortnite art. But at the same time it wasn't. I think it still had a grounded place of it. She hates Fortnite. No, I think Fortnite art is great. The issue that I see with maybe calling it Disney is better. Maybe Disney. Is that there's so many games that look like that. And I think when you create a game, it's nice to have an art style that sticks out so that, if people just see like a small clip or like a screenshot, that it's like, oh yeah, this is that game. Like in WoW, I can see a screenshot of a place, let's say I've never been in the game, and I'd still know it's WoW. Without the UI HUD, like without the HUD, I would know, because it has a very distinct art style. And I think that it's nice to try to keep an art style rather than it looking like another one of these modern games that look a bit Disney-like. That's the thing. I feel like it looks a little bit like Fellowship. So Fellowship is a perfect example of exactly what I'm talking about. Fellowship does not have a unique art style. It's a very pretty art style, but it's an art style that a lot of games today have. They all look very similar. We just need to see more. It was just one specific scene in Byram. Yeah, I also do think that usually cutscenes are a lot prettier than the games itself, usually. So I'm sure that the art style in the game itself will be a little bit more grounded. At least I hope so. Because, I don't think it should be too, perfect Disney art. As too many games try to look like that, and then it won't stick out. Okay, let's watch a little bit more.
Focus and horizontal progression is because those are simply the ArenaNet trademarks at this point. It's how Guild Wars differentiates itself from other titles, and it's found great success in doing so. So there's an almost 0% chance they actually deviate from that formula too much. I think it's possible that progression is a little slower and more complex than in Guild Wars 2, because I do think a weakness of the game is that itemization isn't as interesting as it perhaps could be, but that remains to be seen, of course. While we're on the topic of what is a Guild Wars 3,
not interesting because it's too easy to get the best gear, basically? Is that what he means? Or because I haven't done much endgame stuff, so I don't know.
I want to briefly address the Unreal in the room. I think game engines tend to get a bad rep when horribly optimized or just plain badly made games ship publicly using them, leading to players thinking that the engine itself is inherently problematic. Unity is a very good example of this. And while it's true that every game engine likely has strengths, weaknesses, and a whole array of foibles and quirks, I don't think Unreal Engine will be an issue. Quick reminder that Valorant, Arc Raiders, Throne and Liberty, Marvel Rivals, and Omega award-winning Clair Obscur are all built in Unreal, and they all mostly work. Throne and Liberty, funnily enough, is a particularly apt example to bring up because, similar to Guild Wars 2, it features very high player counts and remains incredibly performant at the same time.
I actually remember we had like hundreds of players in one place and it wasn't lagging. And and wow, this doesn't happen. Which was one of the impressive things about Throne of Liberty, actually.
There is also an idea that some engines make games all look the same.
Oh, isn't this the thing that we talked about? 2D HD, whatever it's called? Or HD 2D?
But that's very clearly not the case. You can just look at the list of games on the Unreal website. Developers can make the game look exactly how they want it to. At the end of the day, a game engine is simply a tool. If it's used well, the end result will be good. If it's not used well, the result will be uninspired slop.
Is that the
It's a sort of reverse survivorship bias. You'll only notice the engine being a problem when it's used badly. When everything is working well, you don't notice the engine at all. In conclusion, I'm very confident Guild Wars 3 is coming soon, and also that it will be a good game. To wrap things up, here's my predicted timeline for Guild Wars 3. August 2026, Guild Wars 2 Visions of Eternity is going to wrap up, and then very shortly after, Guild Wars 3 will be announced.
2 months early.
2026 at some point, a Hall of Monument style game bridge will be added to Guild Wars 2 to link to Guild Wars 3. 2027, we're going to have, I think, a lot of details released about Guild Wars 3. Probably some beta weekends. There was kind of a similar thing during Guild Wars 2's pre-release.
I think they did say betas in 2027, right?
So I think we'll see that again. And then, of course, the big prediction.
Ooh,
I think it will be an early to mid 2028 release. It could...
Really? Damn! I think it's gonna be 2029, right? Or I'm not sure what they said. But he is so hopium. Wait, is it actually 2028? 2 years? That's crazy. That's so soon. I thought it was gonna be like 2029. Earliest. Static Rush, thank you for the prime. Thank you, thank you. Fall 27 is beta, yeah. Right. Interesting. Okay. Well, honestly, these are some pretty good predictions. The announcement came 2 months early, but the rest of it is pretty spot on. 2027 for beta. But isn't it like fall 2027 for beta? And you think there's gonna be a release within a year? That's kind of crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I feel like maybe early 2029 or summer 2029. Because that's very soon. Like, start the beta now and then game release within a year is very optimistic, I think. Guild Wars 2 betas were close to the release. Okay. Guild Wars 3 2 years ago? Sorry, I see your link. I will watch that one after. That's so funny. Okay. I'll watch that too.
Could be late 2027 if you really enjoy Copium, though. There are a lot
If you enjoy Copium.
more things that I want to talk about when it comes to speculating about Guild Wars 3, from the combat system to game modes to progression systems, and also what the future of Guild Wars 2 looks like. Those, though, are topics for another time, but I'll do my best to cover every question mark that I can find. While you're waiting for that, if you want more details, then I'd highly recommend joining the Guild Wars 3 Discord and subreddit. There are some very diligent people there who have been collecting every single breadcrumb of information that exists, and it's all laid out in glorious detail for you to absorb. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned. It's going to be a very interesting year for MMOs ahead of us. I'll see you next time.
Indeed.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Newer video after this one about detail we have so far is a good watch as well. Oh, he has a later one than this? 15 hours ago. No, this is just a reaction, right? No, it is actually everything we know as well.
The announcement of the next.
Yeah, no, it's actually everything we know as well. Okay, let's watch this one too then. But also, this one, apparently this is from years ago. When was it from? 2 years ago.
All right then, gamers. Let's talk about this. Yes.
Why does my thing bug?
In a hilarious twist of classic Guild Wars.
I can't full screen. What's wrong with my Chrome? Here we go. Oh, I can't full screen while the video is playing, it seems. Interesting.
Yes. In a hilarious twist of classic Guild Wars 2 marketing, Guild Wars 3 has been randomly dropped in an NCSoft shareholder meeting. This is not a joke. It is amusingly close to April 1st, but it's not an April Fool's joke. It is just a Guild Wars 2 classic. It really is. You know, we've had the taxi cab commercial. We've had the Our Time Is Now commercial. We've had all of the unhinged marketing. But this one has got to take the cake because, yeah, let's just cut to the chase here. Let's go ahead and cut to this. ArenaNet has a meaningful IP called Guild Wars, and after Guild Wars 2, they are currently working on Guild Wars 3. Yes, Guild Wars 3, which is something that
they actually said that? So, okay. Wow.
I never thought would happen, actually, to be perfectly honest with you, because of, well, we'll get into that in a moment, or why I didn't think it was going to happen. But, yep. It's Guild Wars 3 time. It's actually confirmed in development. Now, to be clear here, let's be sensible. This doesn't mean that the game will actually release. It just means it's being worked on, right? Like, the game is actually in development. We know that ArenaNet have been picking up some devs for Unreal. There's been some pre-production on a game that's within an existing IP. Now, I was definitely speculating that was going to be a standalone game, like either a single player or a co-op experience or something like that.
That's what I thought, but I didn't know anything. I didn't know about them, you know, making listings for MMOs and stuff like that. But a few days ago, when people talked about Guild Wars 3 being announced at this Summer Game Fest, I thought it was going to be a standalone. I did not think it's going to be an MMO.
But no, turns out that was probably Guild Wars 3, I guess. So it is what it is.
Okay.
And what a way to announce it. I would absolutely love to be a fly in the wall at ArenaNet right now. The fires are probably there. A lot of phone calls going on. Because obviously, probably not the way they would have wanted to announce this. But this is the world in which we are currently living. And of course, the media's all over it. Here we are, massively overpowered. The internet is ablaze. The subreddit is all over the place. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. But anyway, Guild Wars 3. So what's going on? And what does it mean for us? Well, what it does mean is that Guild Wars 2 is going to have a sequel, and that's a very interesting thing. There's a very big reason why there's no WoW 2 and why there is no, stuff like EVE Online 2, or indeed any other MMO where there's no sequel to it, like ESO 2 or whatever. It's a very risky thing to do. Like, you're dealing with 10 years of sunk cost fallacy, 10 years of content that you're basically going to say, yep, we're going to move on from that and go on to something new directly after that. Definitely a very interesting decision to make. If you want my honest opinion, guys, and here's the big opinion alarm. To me, this reeks a little bit of corporate, okay? This is, to me, not something I would have expected ArenaNet to do, because at the end of the day, Guild Wars 2 is good, Guild Wars 2 is profitable, Guild Wars 2 is a game that actually has a very well-defined niche in its market. Like, it's a good game.
They've done it before,
It's a good game, and potentially throwing that away is a huge risk. From the player perspective, I think it's incredibly exciting, actually, because new game, we're gamers. We like new things, new ideas, polished concepts, probably going to look a lot prettier, might be more content if Unreal Engine is easier to make stuff for, better performance, better everything, right? It's a little bit risky because, of course, maybe Guild Wars 3 sucks and it's not very good and Guild Wars 2 is still better. It's a tough act to follow, it really is. It's got really good combat, good systems, good progression, all that kind of stuff, right? So it's very, very risky, but certainly exciting. I would be a bit worried from ANET's perspective because, of course, this is going to be a huge investment, and it can backfire really horribly.
I would
actually say
risky.
something like RuneScape, right? With RuneScape 3, people didn't really like it, right?
Yeah.
And it didn't really work out so hot, and that's why old school RuneScape is doing really, really well, and RuneScape 3 significantly less so. However, both of those games are still going, and I actually do want to address this right now. Does this mean that Guild Wars 2 is dead? Absolutely not. Bear in mind, ArenaNet is still running Guild Wars 1. They're not really in active development, but the game is at least running. And I think there's a lot of different ways that ArenaNet could go about this when it comes to Guild Wars 2.
No one can yap like Teapot. It's great.
Absolutely entirely possible that the development model that we have right now, basically the Soto model, is actually planned to continue indefinitely alongside the development of Guild Wars 3. Because bear in mind, we know ArenaNet have been working on projects for ages. We know they've been working on stuff. Hell, even back before this stuff, right? Back in the day, you know, when Icebrood Saga, when the Apocalypse was happening, when the Tunnel was happening, right? ArenaNet have not been purely working on Guild Wars 2 for ages. It's entirely possible that they are actually going to be attempting to continue Guild Wars 2 as it is, and then also have Guild Wars 3 alongside. Of course, that is splitting development resources, and I imagine Guild Wars 3 would become a greater priority, especially on the launch of the game, especially if the game does well. At the same time, but I wouldn't say that this is actually the death or the doom of Guild Wars 2 by any stretch of the imagination, because, and I think that could be really interesting too, because what it means is that Guild Wars 2 has its niche, right?
And he says this before he knows that they picked up Guild Wars 1 development. Like he believed even back then that Guild Wars 2 is not just going to be randomly, like, you know, put to the side. I believe he has the right idea, and I think picking up development for Guild Wars 1 is like potential, you know, a little bit of a sign or proof maybe that they want to keep their like older projects as well, even when they get this new candy.
Has a player base that loves it, and it's profitable, and it works. This could mean that they're going to make Guild Wars 3 very different. They're really going to distinguish it between the two and then run both of them. And funnily enough, that wouldn't be unprecedented in the market, actually. Take a look at what Blizzard's doing with World of Warcraft, right? Blizzard is doing really crazy stuff right now. If you pay for a WoW sub, you get World of Warcraft Retail, the most modern version of the game. You're getting Classic, which is the expansion that's moving through. It's Wrath of the Lich King now, soon to be Cataclysm. There. You also get Classic, which is original vanilla WoW, which, again, whatever spin they're doing on that with Season of Discovery or whatever, some crazy stuff there. And they're even adding... weird mini games like Plunderstorm, which is basically a World of Warcraft engine battle royale. So Blizzard is kind of already doing this, and it's working really well, by the way, running these games that have different audiences in parallel. They're all WoW, right? They're all different versions of Warcraft, but they're all serving different audiences. The audience for Classic is not necessarily the same people who want to play retail. They serve different things. They have different mechanics, different styles of gameplay, and different players play them. And that could very much be the case that ArenaNet will be attempting to do this. There's also a...
I think WoW needs to take a, what is it called? Like a leaf from Guild Wars book, because I think they need to have a main classic place. And that's what, I'm not going to talk about it again because we just talked about it like half an hour ago. But I think the fact that WoW has so many classic modes, he couldn't even list them all, is a bit too much. A page? Yeah, maybe a page. I think they should have a main classic, like RuneScape has. It's like, it's clear. This is the modern RuneScape, this is the old RuneScape. Having like 5 versions of classic at all times is too much and confusing. I think classic players need a home as well.
Really interesting thing in this interview where they talk about how, look at this, okay? Originally, NC had 6 studios in the United States, and work was done to organize the 6 and integrate them into one ArenaNet, which is pretty interesting there. So, like, ArenaNet is taking over all of the NCSoft operations in the US as well. So, interesting. Now, to be clear, you shouldn't get overhyped about this, because games take a very, very long time to take a very long time to make. So I wouldn't expect to see Guild Wars 3 before 5 years, realistically.
Ah, it was sooner than 5 years. It was, what was it, 2 years?
Maybe you'll hear some more information down the line, talking about the game a little bit. That's possible.
Oh, he means like it being done. He is pretty spot on then. Actually. Yeah. I thought he meant like 5 years till we like get an announcement. But no. He means like for it to be ready. He is pretty spot on. Damn.
But it ain't done yet. It's not even close, so don't get overhyped. And that actually is something that I think is going to be a major frustration. If I was ANET, I would be pissed right now. I would be really annoyed.
A random leak.
This is a huge headache from a marketing, from a PR, and just from a development standpoint. Because now, they've got a game that they didn't want to announce, that basically is competing and throwing their current product, their current big winner, into doubt. Guild Wars 2, right? Wait, what's going on? What's going to happen to Guild Wars 2? Is it going to keep going? Is the game dead? Well, I don't want to spend money on a game that's got no future, right? Blah, 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 blah. Very annoying. This almost certainly is going to force the hand of NC and ArenaNet. They're going to have to say something. They're going to have to actually say something, which, if you ask me, kind of a win for us as the players, I guess, but really annoying for ArenaNet, and potentially somewhat damaging to the game. Like, I'm not saying this is a definite thing, but I could imagine that this could potentially hurt sales and player engagement within Guild Wars 2, because people... We know how people are with MMOs. They want to play the next game. They want to play the most relevant game, the most current game. That's human nature, right? People want to do that. So, big pain in the ass for ArenaNet, if you ask me, but could potentially work out for us in the end as we get some more information, because...
I do think, I mean, maybe he's right. Maybe this is the majority, but I do feel like a lot of MMO people do not want to hop into the next MMO. I think a lot of people have this, you know... I have spent this many years into this game, so I don't want to play a different MMO. Like, I've spent 10 years in Guild Wars, why should I play WoW? Or like, I've played 10 years of Final Fantasy 14, why should I play WoW? Or I've played 10 years of WoW, or 20 years of WoW, why should I play this other game? I think there's a lot of MMO people who are like that as well. I don't know how many, like percentage-wise. I think there's definitely some people who... would, hop into the next MMOs. And I think there was a time, especially when WoW was doing really bad, that a lot of WoW players became open to trying new MMOs. But I think it's generally hard to make someone go from one MMO to another because you've committed so much into that game. There's a difference switching to a sequel and changing to a different IP, though. That's true. But the way that he talked about this now, he makes it sound like all MMO players are excited to try the new MMOs. And I feel like at least with a lot of WoW players, I don't think WoW players are excited for a WoW 2. I think people who don't play WoW anymore are excited for a WoW 2, but I think a lot of current WoW players are not necessarily excited for a WoW 2.
Right? People want to do that. So, big pain in the ass for ArenaNet, if you ask me, but could potentially work out for us in the end as we get some more information, because there's going to be big questions right now. There's going to be, like, how is it going to work? Is it going to be a kind of a remaster thing? Is our progress going to carry over? How much of our progress is going to carry over? What's the goal of the game? What does the combat look like? Is it going to be like Guild Wars 2? Is it going to be totally different? I don't know. Like,
most people are excited because MMO players are thirsty for a new good MMO. Yeah, so I would say since around 2020, around the Shadowlands, I guess, scandal, people have become more open to trying new MMOs, for sure. And I think that's why it was very popular also streaming-wise, to check out every MMO that comes out. Like Lost Ark had a massive, massive amount of people who were checking it out. New World, same thing there. I don't remember what other MMOs there were, but there's been a lot of them over the years. I do feel like now people have calmed down with that. People now have become a lot more cynical, I guess. People are a lot more like, oh, another MMO, okay, what are they scamming us on now? What's the monetization? How much pay to win is it gonna be? Oh, I guess give it a year, then it's gonna die. So I think a lot of people have become a lot more negative towards trying new MMOs. I do think Guild Wars 3 has a lot more positive though, because Guild Wars 2 has been successful, and because Guild Wars 2 has such a good monetization model. So I do think that Guild Wars 3 is probably the most positive MMO besides the Riot MMO that people have talked about as of recent years. But yeah, I think a lot of people have been burnt out. People are sick of hearing about new MMOs. It's like another one. But yeah, no, I do think Guild Wars 3 has a lot of potential. Especially because of the very nice and consumer-friendly monetization of Guild Wars 2 and the success of it too. I spent decades building up goodwill with players. Yeah, and goodwill is so hard. That helped for sure. They're not perfect, but they've done they've done really well. Blizzard doesn't even have goodwill. Like, even though WoW is the most popular MMO, I think probably in the world, maybe there's some Asian MMOs that have more players in Asia, I don't know. There is no goodwill with Blizzard. Like, a lot of people hate Blizzard. Even people who like WoW hate Blizzard. So, yeah, no, it's nice that ArenaNet has and I think Jagex does as well, like RuneScape. They also have very goodwill. The players actually respect the company and believe that the company takes care of them. So, yeah, those are two strong points for both of those companies.
How does it connect? Do you keep your microtransactions? I have no idea. We don't know. Any of these things. Like, there's a lot of questions.
Jag is 50-50. Okay, to be fair, the new RuneScape was really bad. So they have lost a lot. But I think that with old school RuneScape's success, there's been a lot of positive with Jagex. But yeah, fair point. They did do a lot. They did get a lot of negativity because of what happened with RuneScape. Do they call it RuneScape 3 now? Yeah, the modern one is pretty bad. Players trust Jagex, but they don't trust the company that owns Jagex. Right. But yeah, I think in the past year or so, I think they've gained a lot of goodwill, especially because they're now also changing their latest, their retail RuneScape is now changing as well. They're removing a lot of the pay-to-win aspects of it, and they are like basically like pulling it down. It was going up to like this thing that wasn't very popular, so they're having to, you know, step back and be like, okay, what's making old school RuneScape so popular? Why is our new modern game doing worse than this old one? And yeah, they're taking a lesson from themselves with their old game and redesigning RuneScape 3. Yeah, they just removed microtransactions and they're remodeling as well. Yeah, they're making changes to it because they realize that pay to win is not good for long term in MMOs. Eventually, people get sick of the game.
Questions here that I think is going to be rustling players and potentially causing some uncertainty and doubt with regards to the current, you know, thing that's basically funding the development of Guild Wars 3. And yeah, it's going to have to happen, guys. Okay? Is it going to be free to play? Is it going to be, I mean, it's almost certainly going to be kind of a similar business model. That's one of the things that Guild Wars 2 stands out for.
I do think they will stick to free to play, like buy to play, like you buy expansions. It's worked well for Guild Wars 2, and I think a subscription model today in general is very off-putting. WoW has it, but it's had it for 20 years, right? I think a new game that expects a subscription is very difficult. Like PAX Day, recent game that we checked out, subscription straight off the bat. It's like, why? Like that is so off-putting. And I think they did add a free version of it, but one of the strengths of the game was having your own plot, and having a plot was put behind the paywall of subscription, which is such a bad idea. I think in the end they also did add other ways to get... Oh, Plenix, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, raiders. I think in the end with PAX Day, they did end up reiterating that, so there was a way in the game where you could earn a way to keep your plot, even if you're not paying for the subscription. But you see how, like, there already, there's a version here, then there's a version here, and it keeps changing because they realize it's not working, and at this point, you've lost faith. And MMOs are so sensitive. So sensitive. Like, you need to do it right and do it fast, or people will move on to the next thing.
I think I wouldn't be worried about a sub fee. That's definitely not happening. And
Yeah,
I mean, well, then again,
either.
who knows? Who knows? But I very much doubt that. So
I'll prefer sub by month than a free to play. I think sub by month is too much of a repellent. I think it blocks people away too much. I think a sub is a very bad idea.
nobody panic regarding that, my friends. Nobody panic about that one. But we shall see. Guild Wars 3, my friends.
I don't get the subscription hate. It's so much cheaper than the free MMO I played. True. Like, the WoW subscription gives you tons of content. It's worth the money. It is worth the money. But the issue is that there's people who may not be playing it full time, and they're gonna wonder, do I want to pay for a subscription? I'm not sure if I want to commit this month to playing, right? And that's the issue. I think it gives a barrier to entry. A lot of people see the subscription and won't even try it. Or like, for example, maybe you've been unsubbed for a while, you have this week off of work or school or whatever, you want to hop into some games, especially when there's so many free games that exist also, right? There's so many free games in like today's like gaming like market. There's so many free games. Why should I pay for the subscription? Even if it's totally worth, why should I pay it, right? And I think that people might be, okay, I have a whole week to play. Do I want to play, like, do I want to hop into, like, RuneScape for free? Do I want to hop into Final Fantasy 14 trial for free? Do I want to hop into Guild Wars 2 for free? Or do I want to pay for a month of WoW and risk getting bored after one day, right? And I think that's the part which makes it a problem. That it's difficult to like commit that money when you're not sure. And I think there's a lot of people who just simply don't get into it because of it. So I think that's the main thing. It's not that it's not worth the subscription. I do think it's a very worthy price to pay for what you get. But for people who are on the fence of playing, it could be a decision factor for them to not play. That's why. So that's why I think it's really good with games like Guild Wars 2, where you don't have to worry about the subscription. You go in whenever you want, you play for however much you want, and then there's other things that you can pay for. You can pay for expansions, you can pay for cosmetics, you can pay for, other things like that. There's also how games treat the free game. Oh, so you can play free to play if your sub runs out. F14 locks you out of the free version if your sub lapses. Yeah, FF14 has an amazing trial, but once you buy the base game, which is, and this is a thing that I don't like about Final Fantasy 14, because I've had many friends do this. They're playing the free trial, right? Enjoying their time, and it's like, oh, cool, like the base game is on sale right now. You know what? I'll buy it because it's so cheap. They buy the base game, they connect it to their account, and suddenly their account is now considered a paid account. They cannot pay for free. They cannot play for free anymore. It doesn't matter that they only played for 10 hours. They're locked out of the free trial. And that sucks. So WoW has a system where there is a free trial, free play, but you can't play past level 20, right? The system is nicer because it means you can log into the game, you can create a new character at any point. If your sub has expired, you can log into retail and play a little bit in the first levels. To be fair, by level 20, there's nothing to do, but at least like the system behind it is better. But the way the Final Fantasy 14 is, the system is horrible because as soon as you pay for anything for your account, you now have to pay to even just log in. And I wish Final Fantasy 14 would change. Maybe it's a spaghetti code thing. I don't know. I wish they would change it so that as long as you do content, which is pre, trial ending, that you should be able to log in and play them if you haven't completed them. But yeah, it's just not the way that it is. The WoW trial did not change in like 10 years. No, it hasn't changed. They confirmed there will be no sub for Guild Wars 3. Yeah, I wouldn't think that they would do a sub, to be honest. Yeah. What about an optional sub for Guild Wars 2 that unlocks all conveniences for that month? I think that could work. I think optional sub is okay. I think ESO has that. I think that's okay. But if they feel like the monetization Guild Wars 2 is successful for them, why change the formula? But yeah, optional sub is okay. I think that's how ESO has it as well. And I think the main thing with ESO that I felt like, okay, I really want the sub, was the infinite materials. I don't know if it was infinite, but it was very big materials inventory. So if you're doing professions, it's really nice because you get so much backspace for all those things. Yeah, the storage. And yeah, the crafting bag, exactly. It's not a choice, really. Well, it's not a choice if you play properly, but it is a choice for people who don't care about professions, right? Who may just want to check out the game level and like experience questing and things like that. But yeah, if you get into the game, especially professions and stuff like that, then yeah, it would be very frustrating to not have access to it. Yeah, here we go. Let's continue.
Guild Wars 3 is indeed on its way. I'm not really sure if I have that much else to say about this, because at the end of the day, we really don't know that much. This is actually something that you almost don't believe is real. It's something that is almost a hilarious joke. I was checking the day. I was like, wait, what's going on here? Okay, what's happening here? But yes, sometimes you just leak it in a shareholder meeting, guys. You absolutely love to see that. Like the big energy is there. Some classic Guild Wars, some classic Guild Wars 2 marketing right there. But anyway, I think that's basically what I've got to say. Yeah. Buy Guild Wars 2 now with my referral link, guys. Get ready for Guild Wars 2 Hall of Monuments. Get ready to pre-order Guild Wars 3 using my...
So I just want to pause that. So on the topic of inventory space, because I saw you say Path of Exile, it's free, but if your main game you want to spend money on your bags, absolutely. It is technically once you get the bags, all the bags that you want, you're done paying for it. And having said that, I do think the Guild Wars 2 model, where you can pay for inventory, which is permanent, is a lot better than the ESO inventory for subscription. So at the end of the day, I do think buying things that are permanent is more nice for me as a consumer than a subscription. It just feels better. A subscription just feels bad. If I'm not sure I'm gonna play a lot this month, I feel like I might be wasting, I sometimes feel like that when I want to watch a show or something, or watch a movie, and it's like, oh, but it's on I don't know, Sky Showtime, and I don't have Sky Showtime right now. Well, do I want to pay I don't know, $9 for 1 month? I'd say, I don't know, 1 month? I just want to watch one movie. And I think sometimes people feel that way about games as well. It's like, I want to play, but I don't know if I want to play for a month. And so that can sometimes feel a bit bad. But paying for inventory is like, you know what? I enjoy this game. So I will pay for the storage. And once I've paid for it, it's done. It's permanent upgrade. To be fair, I think you have multiple upgrades that you got to do. But still, I think I like that whole permanent feeling of it. One complaint I have about Guild Wars 2 storage pay to win is that backspace is per character, not account-wide. Only bank is account-wide. That's a fair point. I would like to see it be account-wide as well. I agree with that. Even if you want to add more upgrades or something. But yeah, I agree. I think in general, games should be account-wide. That's one thing that I never liked about WoW when things weren't account-wide. They did improve that a lot with warbands. I think the game should assume that you will make more characters and give the benefits to everything. You can buy stories for free. Just play the game. You need to put 0 money in the game too. Oh, because you can do it with in-game gold. That's fair. That's really good design too. For people who don't want to spend real money, they can farm in the game and buy it as well. That's also really good. OSRS, a sub isn't account-wide. Yeah, I agree. I don't like that with OSRS as well. I think they should make it account-wide. Goes to also paywalls character slots. If you want more ults, you need to pay. Yeah, that one... Is it 4 characters you get for free? Yeah, that one, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm a little bit conflicted about it. Is it 5? Okay. But like, but if I'm choosing between that and a like mandatory sub, I would still prefer it. I think. Oh, you get a new character slot every expansion though? Oh, I mean, then done. Yeah, no, I'm happy with the system. And you can buy them with in-game gold. Honestly, no complaints.
Rolling, guys, get ready for Guild Wars 2 Hall of Monuments. Get ready to pre-order Guild Wars 3 using my referral link. Yo! Let's go! I am ready!
Oh, I forgot about that. Guild Wars 2 also has, or Guild Wars, I guess, in general, has a very nice, like, creator program, too. Because you got, like, your own, creator links. I think I got one, too. I don't remember what, is it Guild Wars 2? Guild Wars partner affiliate link. Yeah, like, those are pretty cool, too, I think. Having, like, your own personal links to refer people to, because that's something that WoW never had. There's no creator codes for WoW. Everything's on sale too. True. Yeah. So yeah, feel free to use my link, guys. Everything's on sale as well. Does anyone know if you can play Guild Wars 2 with a controller? I don't know. No? Okay. Maybe they haven't bothered because they put all of that effort into Guild Wars 3. Because Guild Wars 3 will be on PlayStation. And maybe it's a technology that they can easily transfer back to Guild Wars 2, or maybe they just don't bother. There are some workarounds. Okay. You can with an add-on. Okay. Interesting, though. Yeah, Guild Wars 3 will have it, because it's going to be on PlayStation. Which worries me, because I am so scarred by Final Fantasy XIV. It's like, why is it like this? Oh, it's a PlayStation restriction. It's like, no! What do you mean it's a PlayStation restriction? I'm a PC player. I don't care about PlayStation having restrictions. So yeah, I hope it's not like that.
Yo! Let's go! I am ready! Oh man, that's fun. Yeah, and look, I was very convinced this wouldn't happen. I can touch on this a little bit as we kind of get to the end of this segment. I did not expect Guild Wars 3 to happen for some of the reasons that I talked about, right? It's incredibly risky. Potentially might not be a really big payoff. And Guild Wars 2 is already good. It is already a good video game. I do think there are some advantages though, like brand new game is always exciting. It kind of gives Guild Wars 2 that relaunch it's kind of always needed. Like, one of the issues that Guild Wars 2 has, and this was actually a really interesting interview from the PoE devs as well. The PoE devs have talked about how a relaunch can be really important because a lot of the issues that maybe made a player quit early on in their game was fixed, but they don't know about that.
They don't
That's
know, yeah.
kind of a motivation for doing stuff like Path of Exile 2, relaunching the game, hitting people with a new product here. And I think Guild Wars 2 can benefit from that. Like, still, you will see stuff like Guild Wars 2 has no endgame. Guild Wars 2 has no content. Guild Wars 2 is like a casual dress-up game, which is true, but that's all MMOs. But you know what I mean, right? Like, people don't know what the game has to offer. And that is where a big relaunch can be useful, but it is also a colossal risk to take this. Because again, it might not even happen, right? Games get cancelled. Just look no further than the Riot MMO. This is Riot, one of the biggest games companies in the world. They went back to the drawing board on their MMO and scrapped all of it, right? That was very recently actually talked about in a Twitter thread. Cool
Yeah, for people who don't know, basically, I guess it was recently when he made this video, 2023 or whatever. So Riot basically came with a statement, hey, yes, we've been working on this MMO, but we don't want to just make an MMO with like League of Legends assets, essentially. We don't want to just like copy paste what exists and, you know, give our graphics to it, because that's what every MMO is doing, and we don't think that's good quality or like good future for their game. So they said, we are going back onto the drawing board and essentially restarting from scratch. So they had spent years on it, and then they restarted the entire project from scratch because they wanted to do something like new. They want the game to feel revolutionizing. And that means, you know, that they probably delayed the release by 5, maybe even 10 years, who knows. But they did that. And it was a very good decision, because you need to do it right. And I guess with Guild Wars 3, maybe Guild Wars 3 is coming so soon because Guild Wars 2, maybe they know what he just said. Guild Wars 2 is a good game, but we lost a lot of players. We lost a lot of faith, and we know that we can do better, and no expansion will bring back the exposure that we even originally had. Maybe this is part of the reason. Maybe that's why they're like, okay, you know what? We are ready for Guild Wars 3 because we know what we're doing now, but we need that relaunch. Maybe that's the reason. And we'll see.
On their MMO and scrapped all of it, right? That was very recently actually talked about in a Twitter thread. Cool transparency, actually. But yeah, it ain't a done deal. It's very risky. It's very scary to make a game like this, of this particular scope, especially an MMO. MMOs are massive. They are expensive. They are huge. And yeah, it's very hard to compare.
It's been 6 expansions. You need a fresh onboarding point for new players. Yeah, but every game does that differently, right? Like you have retail WoW. They have changed how the new player experiences. You end up in different places compared to how it was originally. Like, I think now the new player experience is in Dragonflight, for example. So, like, you don't have to start a new game. WoW is still one of the most popular MMOs in the world. So you don't have to. But what I suspect, based on what I've now listened to, what Teapot is saying, it sounds like maybe Guild Wars 2 is at such a great place, but people don't know that. And I guess maybe that's why they really want that, like, relaunch. WoW doesn't really need a relaunch in the same way, because everyone knows what's going on in WoW. I think WoW news reach a larger majority of people than, like, other MMO news. So they don't need a relaunch in the same way. I think WoW may need a relaunch for different reasons than that. I think because WoW has relaunched every expansion. I mean, that's also true. That is also true. Yeah, they redesign the game constantly. For example, making the new player experience in Dragonflight is kind of a relaunch of it. But yeah, one thing that I think is a negative with WoW is that over time it has so much content which is just dead, right? Like older expansions is just dead. And I think if they do a relaunch, it could be like a nice new clean slate. But again, I'm not even sure if it is good for WoW, because at this point people have put in, 20 years into it. Do you want to make them, play a new game? Or do you want to just continue what you're doing and just update the game so much that it's changed so much over time? Like when you look at an old zone in WoW and a new zone in WoW, they look entirely completely different. Even like today, like if you log in, you go to an old zone, you go to a new zone, massive difference. So WoW kind of has WoW 2 inbuilt into what WoW is now. Like even like this massive revamp of the system with warbands as well. Like they've done so many things that is essentially relaunching itself within itself that I don't see a WoW 2 anytime soon. I think they've made too many changes to retail for that to be worth it. I think if they were planning that, they probably would not have released warbands, for example. I think what they would have done is, you know what, WoW 2 will be account-wide. But they gave it to us now in WoW, so I think they're looking at it in a different way.
compete, because you've got to have a game that has enough content to attract players from other MMOs, from your previous MMO as well. It is very, very spooky. And, you know, I guess we can talk about this as kind of like the final topic. One thing that has been speculated about a little bit is it going to be like a Guild Wars 2.5? Is it just going to be a remaster, new engine kind of relaunch of the game? I mean,
good question.
I think that would actually be the least exciting prospect for us as players. I feel like ANET wouldn't do that, to be honest. Like, if they're gonna do Guild Wars 3, I don't know. I think they are gonna be more likely to try and make something new as opposed to just like a rehash of the current game. Like, it would have the advantage of keeping everyone's progress, but I feel like it would potentially be a lot less exciting, and
yeah,
a lot less impact.
I think you need to restart progress. You don't keep people's progresses, but I think you do have some links, like the, what did you call it? Hall of something, where if you've done certain things in Guild Wars 1 and 2, you can get things in Guild Wars 3. Monuments, yeah. I think having that, I think, makes sense. I think bringing in your progress is kind of like bringing in your old luggage into like your new life. I think sometimes it's just nice to leave that luggage behind. But having some trophies from it, I think is nice.
Just like a very expensive investment for maybe not the craziest gain. Again, we don't know yet. Like, who knows? You know,
let us keep legendaries. What if you had like, I don't know, maybe you got like these like cool trophies in your house in Guild Wars 3, which shows that you have this legendary from the first game, for example. I feel like legendary skins, that's interesting. Yeah, I think the cosmetic of it could be interesting for sure, but I don't think you should keep any kind of power. And because I think that needs to be the new game. And the legendaries is power, they won't let you keep them. Yeah, I don't think it makes sense to bring power into the new game, but I think, yeah, maybe the cosmetic, how it looks, potentially, or like a trophy that you can put in your house, or, you know, something like that. Look up the Hall of Monuments, please. Yeah, I should probably look it up, because I don't know what it is, but it sounds interesting. They can give precursors, though. What's a precursor? Making Guild Wars 3 cross to mobile is awful idea. They would have to dumb the mechanics to mobile players. Oh, it's not mobile, but it's PlayStation. And I don't think they have to dumb down too much. I mean, Guild Wars already doesn't have that many abilities if you compare it to like World of Warcraft, for example. So I think Guild Wars will be fine. There's not many buttons to press, and a controller definitely has enough buttons to like cover those abilities. Precursor is the base weapon you need to have in order to craft legendary. Oh. Okay. Most legendaries are based off stuff in the Guild Wars 2 timeline, so Guild Wars 3 being 1,000 years before, Guild Wars 1 would be weird. Oh, yeah, that's a good point too. It's a 1 year, yeah. Yoink FF14 system, what's that? Relating to FF11?
This is pure speculation at this stage. That's kind of where we're at. But we'll see. There's definitely some potential.
One sec. I was talking to someone in Guild Wars 2 chat about WoW the other day, and some random guy responded, "You slop game." People are very, emotional about their games. So yeah, you will see people insulting other MMOs when they play one. And this happens everywhere. If you talk about tribalistic, that's the word. If you talk about Guild Wars 2 when you're in a WoW dungeon with random people, I would be surprised if no one insulted Guild Wars in that situation. And it's, yeah, that's WoW players mostly. Well, in this case, he had a Guild Wars person who was insulting WoW. And I think it's all of them. It's every fandom, yeah. I think if you're with like Final Fantasy 14 people, they will like, you know, make comments about the other MMOs. Guild Wars will make, you know, and WoW, you know, they all, because they see their game as like their treasure, and they don't want anything to compete with it. So they like to throw comments because, you know, their game is the best one. So yeah. It's actually true. If anything, this is something we learned when we played a lot of Final Fantasy 14. If anything, WoW players are first to insult WoW itself. So, but yeah, I mean, they're all tribalistic in their own ways. Yeah, within WoW, you even have like the classic players versus retail players. Like the retail players insult the classic players for their game being a one-button game, and then classic players insult the retail for being a game for gay people and girls, you know? So like there's a lot of there's a lot of insults thrown everywhere. People like their game and want to insult the others. I also feel like it's because MMOs simply require you to sink a lot of time into it. Yeah. And people probably feel like they need to justify the time spent overspending in another MMO, so they by default become very tribalistic. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Based? Sure. Oh. But yeah.
With the Unreal Engine, of course, that makes it potentially very easy for them to make a console version, which, you know, I think that's something that works out really well for Final Fantasy. Potentially very... But we'll see. There's definitely some potential with the Unreal Engine, of course, that makes it potentially very easy for them to make a console version, which, you know, I think that's something that works out really well for Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
So that's also something that can get in there as well. Pretty decent speculation about the stuff there as well. And I wouldn't be surprised, actually, to see ArenaNet try something quite novel with carrying over progress in some way. We saw them attempt this with Guild Wars 1 in the Hall of Monuments, where you could earn titles in Guild Wars 2 in Guild Wars 1.
Titles.
Definitely wouldn't be surprised to see them try to iterate and develop on that. Are you going to keep your legendaries? Realistically, I think there's almost no chance of that happening. You cannot release a new product where everyone's already...
Because itemization might be completely different, or I think should be different. So yeah, I don't think the power.
Done the progression.
Maybe
that just doesn't make any sense, right? That would be unhinged, to be honest, and yeah, would be weird. New players are going to join and go, wait, these guys have already got full legendary? What the hell is going on there? And of course, when you're launching a new game, you want people who haven't played to play it. You don't want to just port your audience, right? You want to grow your audience. You don't want to say, oh yeah, look, Guild Wars 2 players, come and play Guild Wars 3. No, you want, look, WoW players, Final Fantasy, yo, let's go.
You want the new people to come in. You don't want just the player base that you already have. You want to attract other people. Because the truth is, okay, if they wanted only Guild Wars 2 players to play Guild Wars 3, realistically, 100% of them are not going to move over, right? Impossible. Because some people are just happy with how Guild Wars 2 is. The Guild Wars 2 player base will have 3 directions, right? If you're a Guild Wars 2 player, you will decide to go Guild Wars 3, or stay Guild Wars 2, or quit. Maybe there's some, like, you know, what's the word? Some, like, combinations of it. You know, some people who might play like this and this, or whatever. But, like, essentially this means your Guild Wars 3 population will be smaller than Guild Wars 2. Because if Guild Wars 2 is the whole population and you're only getting a cake of it, doesn't matter how big the cake is, Guild Wars 3 will be a smaller game than Guild Wars 2. You need people from outside. If you want the game to, you know, expand further than Guild Wars 2 did. You need other, you need WoW players, you need Final Fantasy players, you need, you know, maybe people who've never played an MMO before. Now, that would be interesting. Is Guild Wars 3 going to be the first MMO that has young players? Or is it going to be another MMO where the average player base is 35 plus? Because that's one thing that MMOs have not succeeded in. Attracting younger people has been a problem. Are you calling us old? Look, I'm sure some of you guys are very young and great. I'm just saying, on average, MMO players are getting older. And it means that the player, like the total population of it, is decreasing. So, and one thing that MMOs haven't been successful with is attracting a younger player base. Can you imagine when WoW was new, there were teenagers who were playing it. Guilds were run by people who are 18, 20, 21, 22. Today, it's like, if I hear anybody is like 20 or 22, it's like, why? Why are you playing WoW? Because it happens sometimes, right? I meet someone who's like really young. It's like, how? Why? Because it never happens. It's like a rare breed. It's like finding a shiny. And it's going to be interesting to see if Guild Wars 3 will be the one MMO that attracts younger people. Because their parents play. Usually that's it. Yes, usually it's because their parents played. So yeah, average Guild Wars 2 play is probably like 35. Guild Wars 3 is another 10-year commitment. Yeah, I think average MMO player in general across like WoW, Final Fantasy 14, and Guild Wars. I don't have the stats, but I'm pretty sure the average is 35 as well. I'm a history teacher here in Brazil, and none of my students play MMOs. Yeah, they don't. And I think there's many reasons for it. I think MMOs are big commitments, and in today's society, people are used to very fast and easy dopamine kicks, so that they don't go for the big commitments. They go for easy, fast, fun games instead. But yeah, it would be interesting to see if maybe Guild Wars 3 manages to pierce that MMO bubble, which is getting older and older.
That's what you want to do.
I'm 28 and WoW is the only game I feel like I'm still a youngster in. Everyone I play with is 35 plus. Yep. Yep.
WoW players, Final Fantasy, yo, let's go. That's what you want to do. Which is another thing entirely, of course. You know, so they can do skins, maybe they can do a couple of skins, they can do some titles, maybe they could do microtransactions, so some of the money you've invested kind of carries over, because that will be a big thing, by the way. There are people who have spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this game, and is it rational?
Path of Exile 2, if you bought storage in Path of Exile 1, they count for Path of Exile 2. So that could be interesting. If you've paid for storage in Guild Wars 2, maybe you should keep the storage in Guild Wars 3 as well, potentially. Elastor, thank you for the 65-month resub. Small resub, huge resub. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. You watching the announcements? When is announcements? Is it in like half an hour or something? We can watch it then. I also need to play some Guild Wars, because actually I also got a sponsor to play the game, so we need to also play at some point. But yeah, for now we'll watch stuff.
Go, oh, you know, I don't want to leave because I've spent money. Actually, no. I think I'm actually going to mirror what Wooden Potato said in his video covering this topic. You know, with this, I think he's completely correct about this.
Wait, what was he talking about?
The sunk cost fallacy is a fallacy. It doesn't make any sense. Video cover leave because I've spent money. Actually, no. I think I'm actually going to mirror what Wooden Potato said in his video.
I'm gonna go back a bit more.
Covering this because I have dollars on this game, and but maybe they could do microtransactions, so some of the money you've invested kind of carries over, because that will be a big thing, by the way. There are people who have spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this game, and is it rational to go, oh, you know, I don't want to leave because I've spent money? Actually, no. I think I'm actually going to mirror what Wooden Potato said in his video covering this topic. You know, with this, I think he's completely correct about this. The sunk cost fallacy is a fallacy. It doesn't make any sense. You can't just be stuck in the mud forever. No. Like, moving forwards, new ideas, new games, this should always be incredibly exciting as a player. So, now that we're on the Guild Wars 3 train, I will definitely say that as well. Yeah, absolutely. Like, just because you've played this game for 10 years doesn't mean that the next game isn't going to be better, right? Like, the game was probably still going to be here anyway, right? I think that they probably won't get rid of Guild Wars 2, but I think that moving on is important, especially if the game's good. If the game sucks, well, hey, worst case scenario, it's back to Guild Wars 2 for us. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But if the game's good, then yeah, I mean, it's pretty hype, right? It's pretty hype stuff. Beta on Monday. Man, that would be the ultimate twist of events if they did that. They just dropped their Guild Wars 3 beta on April 1st. That would be... that would be very funny, but I don't think so. But anyway...
I want to also thank Rin Tin Tin for the Prime. I just saw that. Thank you very much. And I want to read this one too. In PoE, story tabs are global, meaning you get the tabs for all characters, past and future. In Guild Wars 2, most inventory expansions are per character, not global. So moving them over probably won't make sense. This is true. I hope that with inventory in the future that they make it account-wide. I don't like per character purchases in general with any game that I play. I think account-wide is nice because I shouldn't feel bad about like making new characters when I play my MMOs, which is a problem I've had a lot with WoW. It's nice to feel like I can make new characters and my things will follow. Power, absolutely, that can reset, no problem. Leveling, that can reset too. But things like bags or other kind of, I don't know, certain unlocks should, I think, be account-wide. Put character storage also means you can't really delete characters. Would you delete your MMO character? Are you crazy? No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, true. Dathan, thank you so much for the 4 months. Hello to you too. Yeah, bank is global, so bank is great, but I think all the inventory bags, gear templates, etc., those are per character. I think those should be account-wide as well. And if they have to, like, make up for the fact that, you know, maybe now it means people will buy less bags or whatever, increase it. Add like 2 more like increases to bags or whatever, so that you can earn a little bit extra money. But make it account wide, I think, is better.
I think that's all about I've got to say for now on this. I'm sure there's going to be a very heated discussion going on all over the internet, so make sure that you leave your thoughts here, and definitely come and watch the stream, okay? Don't worry, this is all we're going to be talking about for the next month, so don't worry, you won't miss out. Watch the stream on YouTube, watch the stream on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitch, hand over all your money as well, and get ready for those referral links.
Hand over your money, that's funny.
You love to see it, and definitely check out
YouTube.
this article as well. There's a couple of articles here. I am shamelessly reading the massively overpowered one. You should read it too. It will be linked down below. But of course, let me know your thoughts. Like, follow, subscribe, leave comments. And, well, I'll definitely see you next.
Backspace clutter is my biggest criticism on Guild Wars 2, to be honest. Honestly, that is an issue with every MMO. Every MMO has this thing where they have to clutter bags. Colnaris 55 months membership on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I remember when I had an interview even with, I think it was with Ian, right? I was like, Ian, like, why do we have, like, you know, there was these anima items, and it's already very cluttered because there's like there's an item for 5 anima, then there's an item for 10 anima, then there's an item for 20 anima, and there's an item for 100 anima, 500 anima. There's so many of them. You know what the worst thing was? There's like 4 versions of the 5 anima item. There's like 10 versions of the 10 anima item. Why? Like, first of all, we don't need that many versions, like many amounts, and then we don't need like multiple versions of the same amount as well. It's like I was like, why? It's just clutter. It's just annoying. And I remember, like, I also expressed at the time, WoW doesn't even allow you to pay for inventory spots. So what's the point of giving us that frustration? Because if bag slots cost money, I would understand. Maybe they want you to buy bag slots. But you can't buy bag slots, so what's the point of giving us a frustration? Like, you're giving us a problem, but you're not giving us a solution. What's the point? There is really no reason, because sometimes games do this because they have the solution. It's like they give you a problem. Like, here's a problem, inventory slots. Oh, you know what? Don't worry. We got bag slots in the store. You can buy that, and, you know, your problem will go away. But WoW doesn't even have that, and it still has terrible bag like decisions, item decisions. And yeah, I think it's just, I don't know. MMOs have this issue a lot. They go for quantity when it comes to items more often than not. And I don't know why. Maybe for some MMOs because they want to sell backspaces, but for some, like for WoW, that's not even the case. So I don't know.
Next time on this one, because, yeah, stay tuned. There's probably going to be a lot more info on this coming out relatively soon, or at least some kind of statements here as well. Guild Wars 3 indeed. But anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay tuned, and I'll see you next time.
Nice. Well, I can link this video for those of you guys who want to watch it. This was an old video. He was predicting or seeing some leaks about Guild Wars 3 at the time. And I think people said he has a video, recent one, what we know so far. I wanted to watch that as well. I want to go AFK quick though first. Holy tab, yeah, a lot of tabs. So I will be right back. I think I'll just play some music. 20 minutes to Guild Wars 3 dev video. Nice. Well, let's watch that together. I guess we have to like refresh probably. Yeah, we're in waiting room. Sorry, you're getting timed out as well. I need to whitelist some of those sites that you guys are putting there. Wait, what is this? Is this the one? "14 seconds ago! Yeah, this is it! Okay! Okay. It's here.
Hey everyone. This weekend is massive for ArenaNet, and most importantly
14
for all
seconds
of you
ago!
in the Guild Wars community.
Thank you for the link.
Yesterday, we announced Guild Wars 3, the first major new game in the Guild Wars franchise in over a decade. We're going to tell new stories in a different era of Tyria, and when it's ready, you can join us. We wouldn't have got to this moment without the millions of players who've enjoyed Guild Wars and Guild
Now
Wars
I know
2.
Colin. I didn't know him
The
before.
entire team at ArenaNet is proud to share this moment with all of you. We'll have much more to share about Guild Wars 3 in the months ahead, but today, we're here to talk about the games you're already playing.
Auto
I want you all to
360?
know
What?
our studio is committed
There we
to
go.
actively developing Guild Wars Reforged and Guild Wars 2 for many years to come. We are not replacing your favorite games, we'll be supporting them. We know this is not the norm, but it's something our studio has been preparing for, and to explain why, it's worth looking back. When Guild Wars 1 was our only live game, we faced a similar moment concerning the future of the franchise. And as we shifted our focus to Guild Wars 2, we moved most of the studio to work on it. New content in Guild Wars 1 slowly went away, year over year, before stopping entirely as we approached the release of Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars is a very different game than its sequel, and by making the decision we did,
It's not
we
live,
lost
but
the
it
ability
just
to explore
dropped.
that
Brand new
space.
video.
We are not repeating the same approach as we did all those years ago. If we did, we would have stopped development on Guild Wars 2 more than a year ago. Instead, we've continued live development on Guild Wars 2, launched the game on Steam and Epic Game Store, and we've released 3 expansions in 3 years. We've seen Guild Wars 2 thrive, all while ramping up development for Guild Wars 3 simultaneously in the background. At the same time, we tested something new with Guild Wars 1 by reinvesting in the game and creating Guild Wars Reforged to see what would happen. And what we learned was clear. When we support these worlds, players show up, both returning veterans and entirely new fans of the Guild Wars franchise. Those experiences shaped how we're handling this moment. So here's our new commitment: Guild Wars Reforged, Guild Wars 2, and Guild Wars 3 when it launches. All 3 games share the world of Tyria. They are intentionally very different in design, in experience, and where they sit on the timeline. Whichever one is your home, and you're welcome to pick more than one, we're going to continue developing it for years to come.
Okay,
So next, Stephen Clark
exciting.
Wilson, our game director for Guild Wars, is going to walk you through what this means for our original game. And then Josh Davis, game director for Guild Wars 2, will talk about what's next for Guild Wars 2.
The
We played a
original
little bit of
Guild
Guild
Wars,
Wars
now
1.
rebranded as Guild Wars Reforged, has been making up for lost time. Partnering with co-developer 2 Weeks Games, we fully integrated the game with Steam, including Steam Deck support. In the first month, about half of Steam players tried it on Steam Deck. We also simplified access. Anyone who has ever purchased a single campaign can now play all the campaigns at no additional cost.
Wait, half the
Next, we're
player base
applying what
tried
we
it on
learned
Steam
about
Deck?
Steam
That's
Deck
crazy.
controls and UI to bring Guild Wars Reforged to mobile devices. The relatively small screen on the Steam Deck forced us to reconsider what the user experience should look like. We also learned a lot going the opposite direction, making sure the game looks right and plays right on a 4K monitor. A typical phone these days has a very high resolution display, and we needed to adapt the UI to these high resolution displays, but they're in a small form factor. Mobile players will join the same live servers as PC players, and existing PC players will be able to access the game on mobile instantly and free of charge. We can't wait for longtime players to carry around Guild Wars in their pockets, and also join all the new players. We also recently shipped 2 new dungeons. Their success has given us the confidence to begin work on an entirely new type of content, which is just now getting underway. Stay tuned.
New content for Guild Wars 1. That's really cool, actually.
Hey
Very
everyone.
nice to hear.
Like Colin said, we plan to support Guild Wars 2 for years to come. My priority is to make sure this community remains a place that you're excited to call home. That said, the road ahead looks a little bit different than what's come before. The next 18 months are an opportunity for us to take on some exciting projects that we've wanted to work on, the kind of projects that don't really fit in expansions. So we have 4 major initiatives to share today, and one very important caveat. Let's go through the headlines first, then each in more detail. First off, we're building a new Hall of Monument system that will connect Guild Wars 2 with Guild Wars 3. This will let you carry your accomplishments forward over to 3. Next up, we're going to modernize and polish Guild Wars 2. We want to bring our older content up to more current design standards, address player concerns, and improve developer workflows. The third is for our World vs. World players. We're actively developing a brand new Borderlands map, the first in over a decade. And the fourth announcement is a new open world map set in Ore, bridging the Tyria that you know and the Tyria that you're about to discover in Guild Wars 3. Now, as mentioned, this all comes with a trade-off, and we want to be upfront about it. Visions of Eternity, our current expansion, wraps up this September. After that, we're taking a break from expansion development to deliver Hollow Monuments 2.0 and the other projects that I just mentioned. After Guild Wars 3 releases, we'll return to shipping annual major content updates for Guild Wars 2. Let's start with talking about Hollow Monuments in a little bit more detail.
I'm just gonna pause for a second. So it seems like they are doing exactly what Teapot was saying too. They're taking a break from doing regular expansions, so it might be a little bit less content, but they're adding all of these new things basically that they're gonna work on, which will then bridge between the games. So technically, as a Guild Wars 2 player, it will be a bit of a slow content period, but there's a lot of new things that's coming in at least, which will change Guild Wars 2 forever as well.
If you've played the original Guild Wars, you're probably already familiar with this concept. Hollow Monuments 2.0 arrives later this year and will let you earn rewards in Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars 3 by completing new and existing achievements across the entirety of Guild Wars 2. One major difference from the original Hollow Monuments is that this time it will roll out in phases. The first 2 releases will focus on the core game, and then we'll hit each of our expansions in chronological order over the course of a year. We'll have a lot more information to share on the system and the associated rewards after the final release for Visions of Eternity later this year. So building Hollow Monuments this way gives us a rare opportunity to revisit the foundations of Guild Wars 2, which brings us to our second major initiative. After our team finishes work on Visions of Eternity in late September, we're going to spend nearly a full year going back through each area of the game and making meaningful improvements. The work splits into 2 halves, the stuff you'll see and experience as a player, and the work under the hood. Let's start with what you'll see. Everything is on the table here, to borrow a phrase from Colin. For example, bringing older content up to our current design standards, rebalancing events and encounters, addressing long-standing bugs, continued support for pillars of the game like World vs. World, polishing the early game experience. These are just high-level categories, but one specific example that we are updating is the Zaitan fight in the personal story. This is a rare opportunity for us to take a pass on the entire game and hit some of the biggest pain points that you experience on a day-to-day basis. Now the other half, the work that goes on under the hood, the kind of improvements that allow us to continue supporting Guild Wars 2 for years to come. We're investing in client and server performance, making sure that Guild Wars 2 runs well on your rigs, especially as we push the art direction in ways that our technology wasn't originally built for. We're also modernizing parts of our development pipeline. For example, we're upgrading our engine to use physics-based rendering, or PBR. The game wasn't originally built with PBR in mind, but adding it will let our team make new content better and faster. Now, there's a lot of work that can be done here, and a year is simply not enough time to do it all. So we want to stay focused on the things that matter most to you. Starting today, we're opening a new section on the official forums dedicated to this work. There's a space for the core game and a space for each expansion.
Each expansion.
Go to the forums
That's
and
so
let us know what you think.
sweet.
The third announcement is for our World vs. World players. We're building a brand new Borderlands map, the first in over a decade. We're going to develop the map alongside the community, similar to how we approach the development of the new PvP push game mode. We'll release an early gray box prototype on live, gather your feedback, and iterate until we feel good about the direction. We think this approach gives us the best shot at avoiding the missteps that came with Desert Borderlands. Our goal is to host a beta test later this year.
I don't have that much
as soon as the map hits
world
first play.
experience, so I don't know what this all means.
Outside of the new map, work on World vs. World restructuring and our core World vs. World systems continues. Right now, the focus is on making winning matter, which requires some fundamental changes to scoring.
Means
Once
a lot,
the
yeah?
system is properly encouraging active competitive play, we'll look at adding some more incentives for winning as well.
I feel
Last but
surprised
not
because
least,
that's a
we're going back
PvP
to
thing,
Ore.
right?
You've probably heard by now that Guild Wars 3 takes place in Ore. It's one of the most iconic locations in the entire franchise, it's lore-rich, and it's tied to some of our most important storytelling. We're genuinely excited that Guild Wars 3 takes us back there, and that you're going to see Ore in a way that you've never been able to see it before.
Wait, so does Ord not currently exist in Guild Wars 2?
We'll have more to share down the road, but what I can say is that this will be a core game edition, free for all to play.
Oh, it does.
If you or a friend are coming back to Guild Wars 2 to chase Hollow Monuments rewards, you won't need to own an expansion. Check it out.
Oh, and Guild Wars 3 is 1,000 years before. Ah, cool.
So this has been a lot, I know. A new Hall of Monuments, a year of polish, a new Borderlands map, a new map in ore, and of course, you can still look forward to our festivals, bonus events, skills balance updates, Wizards Vault updates, and more. It's a pretty ambitious plan. Most games don't get a chance to put this level of attention towards improving the foundation so long after initial release.
Yeah.
We get this opportunity because of you, and I think that we're set to put our best foot forward for Guild Wars 2 for the next 15 years and beyond.
Oh, that's where this
So
icon
as you can
fight
see,
was.
this is an exciting moment for ArenaNet and for Guild Wars fans around the world. We're expanding into the future with Guild Wars 3. We're going back through Guild Wars 2 to improve what we've built and launching the first release of the new Hall of Monuments by the end of this year. We're investing in Guild Wars Reforged, the game that started it all, with new platforms and new content. And before any of that, we've got the third quarterly release of Visions of Eternity landing in late summer with new story, a new map, and more. We're so grateful for this community. Every time we've had a moment to welcome new fans to the Guild Wars franchise, our players have shown up with open arms, reinforcing our reputation as one of the friendliest communities in online gaming.
100%.
We're expecting newcomers and returning players to visit Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars Reforged in droves as a result of the excitement and the commitment we're making to this franchise. Hall of Monuments will encourage millions of people who experience Guild Wars for the first time with Guild Wars 3 to want to go play Guild Wars 2 as well. We know many of these new players will fall in love with the games and Tyria just as many of you already have. And as a member of this welcoming community, each of you plays a huge part in that. Thank you.
That's you, by the way, chat. You.
This is the first of a few conversations we'll be having with you over the coming weeks and months. Next up, our team will be back with more information about the setting of Guild Wars 3, sharing more details about the where and the when this game takes place. Then next Tuesday, Josh and I will sit down for a live stream on Twitch and YouTube to talk more about the franchise and to answer some of your questions. Please join us if you can. We're so glad to have you with us on this journey. Thank you all to the community. We'll see you in Tyria.
Damn. Wait, is that everything? No! Wait, I wanted more! That was 11 minutes! It went so fast! Wait, no. Calming jazz? Are you kidding me? That went so fast! That was it? I want more! Okay, yeah, the blog post was this one, yeah? I mean, I guess the music is kind of fitting, so we can have that playing in the background. Okay. The future of the Guild Wars franchise, our commitment to Tyria. Yesterday was a huge day. Is the sound a bit loud or is it fine? I think for me it was a bit loud, but I think for you it's good. Testing. It's fine? Okay. Yesterday was a huge day for ArenaNet and our community. We revealed that we were developing Guild Wars 3 at Summer Game Fest with an announcement trailer. We've seen the trailer. We also published an informative blog covering some exciting new sales, both in the game and outside of it, to celebrate a big reveal. I don't think I saw that. Yeah, I don't think I saw this. Let's read this one. It's a bit loud. Is that better? ArenaNet is developing Guild Wars 3. It's an unbelievable feeling to be able to write those words, but it's true and we're finally able to talk about it. In Guild Wars 3, you'll explore ore like you've never been able to before. You'll join the Veil Wardens, a guild sworn to protect the land, the people who live beyond the walls of the towns and cities of Ore, and the nature spirits who call Ore home. For the first time ever, you can experience the world of Tyria on both PC and PlayStation 5. We built a combat system designed to feel incredible no matter how you play, whether you use a controller or a mouse and keyboard. We have other exciting things to discuss in this blog today, but for more information on the announcement, head over to our shiny new Guild Wars 3 website. Please wishlist Guild Wars 3 on Steam and PlayStation Store. And to keep up with the latest news, and for a chance to join the Guild Wars 3 beta in the fall of 2027, sign up for the... I don't know if I ever did the sign up. I think I didn't do it yet. What's next for Guild Wars 2? With the Guild Wars 3 announcement, we know the community will undoubtedly be wondering what's next for Guild Wars 2, and we're gonna tell you in detail tomorrow. I want more details! Today we're celebrating the first brand new game announcement for ArenaNet in almost 2 decades. And that deserves its moment in the spotlight. But rest assured, we're not done making Guild Wars 2, or Guild Wars Reforged for that matter, and we're committing to actively developing all 3 games at the same time. Oh, you linked the new thing? Sorry, you guys are getting timed out.
This weekend is massive for
I just watched it. Calming Jazz is doing some hard work here. It's not working! It's not calming me down! Okay. Okay. Tomorrow, June 6th, we'll be releasing a studio update video, and you hear directly from the studio head Colin Johansson, Guild Wars 2 game director Josh Davis, and Guild Wars Reforged game director Stephen Clark Wilson, as they discuss the future of the Guild Wars franchise. Look out for that video here on our blog and on the YouTube channel around Blah Blah. That's basically just now. Then next week on Tuesday, join us for a live stream where Colin and Josh will continue the conversation. It's an incredible time to be a Guild Wars fan, and we can't wait to show you what we've planned. Bonus event, Summer Game Fest. Earlier this week, we kicked off the Summer Game Fest bonus event in Guild Wars 2. Oh. Wait, Summer Game Fest, is that what it's normally called? That's what the game show was called. Bonus event to show our appreciation for the Guild Wars community and to celebrate our announcement of Guild Wars 3. Hop into the game, let's do this. Hop into the game and earn a Guild Warrior shoulder skin, the Guild Warrior cape skin, and 3 guaranteed wardrobe unlocks by completing events. One of the achievements is earned by completing events in any of the maps in or the setting for Guild Wars 3. That's pretty sweet. You have until June 16th to unlock these rewards, and as you explore, you'll benefit from 50% experience gain, 50% magic refined, 30% WWW reward track progress, and 30% PvP reward track progress. Okay, now I know what we're doing, because we are going to be playing some Guild Wars 2 as well. We're not just going to be yapping. What, 4 hours? We've only been yapping for 4 hours? How did 4 hours just fly by? It's crazy. Okay. Guys, we just watched it. Colin and Josh will be hosting a live stream next week on Twitch to continue the conversation on Tuesday at 8 p.m. for us. As Josh mentioned in the video, after Guild Wars 2 Vision Turn wraps up in September, we're turning our attention to improving the foundations of Guild Wars 2 and want to make the most of it with your help. Yeah, so basically for that year, I think there's not going to be much like new content. I think no new expansion, no new raids or anything like that. But they're going back and like improving every expansion is what it sounds like. Improving every expansion and also like creating that bridge that will go into Guild Wars 3 as well. So for the first Hall of Monuments update coming later this year, we're going to spend nearly a full year going back through each era of Guild Wars 2, making meaningful improvements to the player experience. Let's read again and pause at 9:41 to see more concept art of Guild Wars 3. Okay, I'll do that as well. Just reading the rest of this. Head over to the new feedback forum and share your ideas on what you'd like us to address. We're excited to shape the future of, yeah. Nice. Okay, so back to the video.
Hey everyone, this weekend is
9:41.
it all with new platforms and new content.
Auto 144. Come on, my internet is not that bad. Okay. Oh, like this stuff here? Yeah, 144, like what the heck? Emily Marshall, thank you so much for the Prime. I really appreciate it. Yeah. The relaunch that Teapot was talking about. Yeah, no, honestly, the relaunch makes sense. I think they had a lot of, I think basically what it is that when they were working on Guild Wars 2, they really wanted to do these things that are over here. And it's really difficult to turn Guild Wars 2 into this because of like limitations and other things. It's also expensive and like, you know, like adding a lot of stuff to an existing game. There's a lot less payoff compared to a new launch, because a new launch will make new players give your game a chance. It will make old players also, you know, give it a chance as well. It's just so much, right? Same reason they made Guild Wars 2. Yeah, I think it makes sense. So they have all these new ideas that they want to do, and they've learned a lot from how they've done Guild Wars 2. I don't know the history, but I'm just basing this off of what Teapot said, where they started off rough. The game had a lot of issues to begin with, and it wasn't until a few years later that they came to a model that became more enjoyed and more successful with the expansion what's it called, the expansion
so grateful for this community. Every time we've had a moment to welcome.
I think some parts is harder to tell that something is new than other parts. Like I think in this part here, I think it looks like it could be new. This bit here as well. And then this bit here feels like Yeah, okay, it's Guild Wars 2. But it's, yeah, no, but it does look beautiful. The newest map is gorgeous, yeah. Guild Wars 2 is timeless beautiful. The bloom, it gets
Every time we've had a moment to welcome new fans to the Guild Wars
bright,
franchise, our players have.
Okay, this jazz is like confusing my mood right now. Let's do game sounds instead. There we go. Those two maps after the core game all look amazing. It sounds like it might be a little bit like WoW. Like in WoW, the newer zones are like so much more beautiful than the old ones are. Because they, you know, they get better tech, they just improve on everything, so it ends up looking better. The jazz has been testing my awakeness. Yeah, it makes me a bit sleepy too. Is there anything else to check out? I guess that's it for now, huh? We were so fast. It was like 14 seconds in. Is it time for gameplay? Or is there anything else that you guys would recommend me to watch? Wait, we were supposed to still watch one more video. Hold up, where is my other... Guys, we still have one more video to watch. This one. The Everything We Know video. Everything we know so far video. And then we'll do gameplay. I missed the start key. Watch everything again. How far into the expansion so far? I just recently completed Heart of Thorns. So next up is Living World Season... Is that 2 or 3? I mixed up the numbers. But yeah, next up is Living World Season something. Is it 3, yeah? That's what's next.
Ready to blast across the galaxy with daring races, dangerous rivals.
Is the trailer on? Have they uploaded it on YouTube? Guild War. Look at it. Guild
1 minute
Wars
ago.
3 is confirmed. I can't believe we see this. I can't believe this has happened, but it has. There is
so
a
beautiful.
Guild Wars 3 announcement trailer here on YouTube. It's weird. I'm so mentally prepared for this. I feel like I should be going crazy right now, but I'm obviously, this is unbelievably incredible. This is an absolutely amazing day for everyone who loves MMOs. Cool trailer as well, by the way, actually, in my opinion. Like, very cool style with how it actually ends up looking.
I like the threading thing that it does.
This is Guild Wars 3. And this is in engine, by the way, guys. This is in engine.
Wait, look how happy he looks to get to keep his hair. What do you mean? Did he do a bet? Did he do a bet to cut his hair or something? Guild Wars 3 looks like High Guard.
We all have our own reasons for coming to this vast frontier.
Wait, do we have drops right now?
But for our
What's going on here?
They randomly started drops in the middle of the stream. That was funny. People said in my stream too. But then I wasn't sure if I'm allowed to like be in the category. Like, because I was also sponsored by Lords of the Fallen, and maybe they prefer me to stay in the Summer Game Fest category. But I asked and they said it's totally fine. So it was okay. Category please? Yeah, not by Twitch. By Twitch it's fine. You can be whatever category you want if it's a game show that shows a lot of different games. But when I'm sponsored, then it's like a bit awkward. Maybe they don't want to randomly promote Guild Wars 2, you know? But it was fine. Do you think them using Unreal Engine for Anima could be concerned with how it could run or no? I think Mighty Teapot put it well. There's a lot of games that have done well with Unreal Engine, so I don't think it's necessarily a problem. I guess it just depends on our confidence in ArenaNet to use it well, because it's a tool at the end of the day, and as long as you use it well, I think it can be good.
We who protect this land.
Huh?
One reason stands above all others. Our wonder. You feel it too. We see it in your eyes. Wonder at the astonishing power that shapes this land.
That's a fair point. It's so
at the great spirits to whom we are bound.
Embrace
At the gods who hold dominion over all.
Hey, we did talk about Fortnite arts, right? Guild Wars Fortnite. I don't know if you can see it here. Somebody wrote that. Guild Wars Fortnite. Introducing. But yeah, I mean, it is a concern sometimes when you make your art style too cute and like, you know, too pretty. It has the risk of like going into that. But I do think that the art style is not too that. Wait, I'm at the wrong place. Like, I think even here, it still has a bit of darkness to it that's not like necessarily a Disney movie, which I think is a good thing. I think there should be a bit of depth and a bit of darkness to like, yeah, make it different from Fortnite or Disney. Very vibrant. It is very vibrant, but it still has a darkness, a depth, and I think that's good. But yeah, we'll see how it actually looks, because these might be like cutscenes, right? Not actually gameplay. So in gameplay, it might look very different. But yeah, the lighting is incredible.
Recognizable? I mean, yeah, of course it's complete. I mean, look at the races.
At this land.
I don't know where we were. I think here.
At the great spirits.
Yeah, I saw the reaction video, Sneaky. We watched it earlier. I didn't expect to be in it. Loyalty was in it too. Whoever made that, good job. Like, even catching Loyalty, who wasn't even in the Guild Wars category at all, I don't think. Yeah. They knew. Why not? You kind of be... No, I mean, I'm not a household name in the category. And the person who made this video clearly knows about creators who are not just Guild Wars 2 creators, which can sometimes be rare. Not everybody knows. Most people just know the creators of their, you know, favorite game, which is nothing wrong with that. That is world first and first. Yeah, no, she has all the credits. I mean, all the... Like, she has the full resume to be respected in the Guild Wars community, but she hasn't, like, been doing Guild Wars content for many, many years. So I wouldn't, you know, judge a Guild Wars viewer for not knowing who she is, if that makes sense. But no, for sure. I mean, yeah, she was world first raider. She's insane.
Whom we are bound.
Embrace it.
At the gods who hold dominion over all. We cannot guarantee your comfort, or even your safety. But if you yearn for horizons...
And also, guys, playable races are confirmed here. Or is unrecognizable? I mean, yeah, of course it's complete. I mean, look at this. Bear in mind, guys, look, gamers, this is in-engine. Right? So obviously this might not necessarily be like how the, you know, not necessarily gameplay, right? But this is in-engine footage, guys, for Guild Wars 3.
Reasons unexplored. For fellowship and purpose. For a cause worth dying for. To you, we can promise. Magic.
I'm still getting goosebumps.
Go! That is cinema. Steam, PS5, ArenaNet, Guild Wars 3, and a bit of art at the end. Wait, do they don't talk about this here?
Oh, I like this water art.
Beta begins fall 2027, gamers. Fall 2027.
1 year
Beta
and
begins
a bit.
for Guild Wars 3. Read the YouTube description. Explore Tyria like never before in Guild Wars 3, an action-adventure MMORPG and modern evolution of the genre.
Wait, play solo? Does that mean you can play the entire thing solo?
Wait, is it like Destiny? Play solo or form a band of adventurers, forging impactful and enduring bonds with fellow players. A formative cast of memorable NPCs and the nature of spirits. Okay, that is interesting. What is that?
Destiny
Steam
3
description
confirmed.
as well. Yeah, I'll take a look. So wait, this is, well, I guess it depends how you interpret that, but that immediately sounds like, yeah, like Warframe or Destiny or Guild Wars 1, right? Ooh. So they're going to make it like very soloable. Now that is...
Because that's interesting. Does it mean like it's party-based MMO? Like not... But they wouldn't call it an MMO then. Nah, I don't think it's
very interesting. Now MMO. That is a... Ooh. Look, I kind of want them to clarify that sooner rather than later. That is a very interesting statement. Ooh.
Yeah, because the way these other games are, it's not MMOs in the true sense. It's essentially like instanced, and you're picking some people to play with. It's kind of like a multiplayer co-op game instead of MMO, which this sentence might sound a bit like, but I don't think that they're gonna do that. I don't think they will do that. I think it will be a true MMO, because I think if they, I think they know enough about the MMO space that if they call it MMORPG and then they come out with like a freaking MMO light, they know they will get shat on. I think they know. They said modern? Well, I don't think that's necessarily modern. Like, how old is Destiny? How old is Warframe? Like, these are not, like, modern new games. Like, it's been like that for a while. Time will tell. I guess we'll see. Evan, 14 months! Yes, Guild Wars 3 hype. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. About this game, become a Veil Warden, a guardian of the land of Ore, a protector of the people and spirits that Ore call home. Discover untold stories and forge lasting bonds with your fellow players as you glide, leap, sprint, and ride your way across the frontier with adventure around every corner. A modern evolution of the MMO. Master a combat system where depth is achieved through strategic skill use, positioning, and movement. Where action RPG combat meets Guild Wars build making. Creating a unique... Okay, that sounds fucking great.
Interesting.
Run,
yeah.
slide, leap. Now that's what I'm talking about. I love this about New World, and it sounds like Ana have gone New World Plus here. This is the stuff that I love, guys. We have got leaping, and check this out. We've
New
got
World
climbing.
has those things?
I love climbing in games, guys. Like, I love this type of traversal. Being able to like climb over stuff and not just get blocked by like a little thing that you can't climb over, even though you obviously should be able to, right? That is huge.
That shapes this land.
So we've got climbing in the mix, jumping, leaping. Obviously, mounts are in the game on launch there by the looks of that. And then, of course, like we have these playable races, and now we know where it's set, guys. Notice that that's Abaddon, by the way. That's pretty sick, guys, okay? Look at this character. This is, we're actually going to encounter Abaddon in his, like, original form, which is pretty sick, no? The Steam player is really bad. And yeah, this is long before Guild Wars 1.
He was watching on Steam, too.
Long before Guild Wars 1. Very long before Guild Wars 1.
Comfort, or even your safety. But if you yearn for horizons unexplored, for fellowship and...
Yeah, this is 1,000 years before Guild Wars.
The cleansing nuke is upon us. At long... Oh, ANET Post! ANET Post! Arena is developing Guild Wars 3. It's an unbelievable feeling to be able to write those words, but it's true, and we're finally able to talk about it. Oh, we got big ones. Okay, guys, wait. Lock in! In Guild Wars, in Guild Wars 3, you'll explore Ore like you've never been able to before. You'll join the Veil Wardens, a guild sworn to protect the land, the people who live beyond the walls of towns and cities of Ore, and the nature spirits who call Ore home. For the first time ever, you can experience the world of Tyria on both PC and PlayStation 5. We built a combat system designed to feel incredible, no matter how you play, whether you use a controller or a mouse and keyboard. We have other...
I played some Guild Wars 1 when the Reforged came out. I never played it originally. And, yeah, I didn't play it originally. But I decided to not put too much time into it because I wanted to focus on Guild Wars 2. But I want to go back and do more Guild Wars 1 as well. It was fun. I just didn't want to feel confused about which game is what. Or not like which game is, but like, I want to play Guild Wars 2. Yeah, so I don't end up mixing certain things with each other. I want to like distinguish them from each other properly.
Other exciting things to discuss in this blog today, but for more information, head on over to our shiny. Oh, is this up? Guys, what are we doing?
The website is down.
Head on over to the website. Please wish list, and for a chance to join the Guild Wars 3 beta, sign up for the Guild Wars 3 newsletter. Gimme. Oh. Okay. Oh, this is very important, actually. They need to... I'm... What? Look. Not reading. They need to say, we are doing a post in like 1 millisecond about what's happening with Guild Wars 2, because we didn't announce a Guild Wars 2 expansion, and that's obviously really fucking sweaty for all the people who currently play our game. Right. What do they actually say?
He's right. They kind of said that with the video that they dropped today, and then the live stream next week.
Hey. With the Guild Wars 3 announcement, we know the community will undoubtedly be wondering what's next for Guild Wars 2. Oh, and we're going to tell you in detail tomorrow. Okay, fine. They're letting this breathe. Okay, fine. All right, I allow that.
That's acceptable.
I allow that. Personally, I would have preferred it today, but fine. Tomorrow, we can deal with that. Right, that's fine. Today, we're celebrating the first...
In their defense, the show is so late. It's not ideal times. Like, they're supposed to drop a video at 2 a.m. I think it's good to drop it today at a much more reasonable time.
First brand new game announcement for Arena in almost 2 decades, and that deserves its moment in the spotlight. But rest assured, we're not done making Guild Wars 2 or Guild Wars Reforged for that matter. And we're committing to actively developing all 3 games at the same time. Ooh. Tomorrow.
Oh, indeed. It was early for US. It is, but I think they have a big player base in the West in general. So I think it's good for them to consider a time that's good for EU and US, which is typically like EU evening time. Like EU evening, like covers everybody. Whereas, you know, they wouldn't do EU morning because that's way too early for US. And evening for US is like too late for EU. So yeah. And that's why in general, like most, like that's why the live stream is also like at 8 p.m. And this video was dropped at 6 p.m. Most companies that has a Western audience considers this. They have a big Asian base though too, I'd assume. I don't know, do they? Do they have like their shows in any of the Asian languages? Or is everything in English? I think, unless you're like Final Fantasy XIV, where you actually have your shows in Japanese, I think most companies just focus West, in terms of news, at least. Big enough to have a separate client. Okay, so kind of like WoW. I think WoW still considers EU and US when they do their news, but sometimes there might be some China-specific news, I guess, that they have themselves. Because the WoW, I don't know how it is in Guild Wars, but the WoW version of China is actually different from how it is in the West. Like, it's not exactly the same game.
June 6th, we'll be releasing a studio update video. And you'll hear directly from Colin, Josh, and, SCW as well, actually. So we're hearing about all 3 games. We discussed the future of the franchise. Look out for that video on our blog and on YouTube tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific. That's patch time, right? I think. Basically patch time, yes? Then next, it's not over. Next week on Tuesday, June 9th at 11 a.m. Pacific, which is a little bit after patch time. Join us for a live stream where Colin and Josh will continue the conversation. It's an incredible time to be a Guild Wars fan, and we can't wait to show you what we have planned. That is after patch time. Join us for a live stream where Colin and Josh will continue the conversation. It's an incredible time to be a Guild Wars fan, and we can't wait to show you what we have planned. That is massive. We're obviously covering that. Okay. bonus event, Summer Games Fest. Earlier this week, we kicked off the Summer Game Fest bonus event in Guild Wars 2 to show our appreciation for the Guild Wars community to celebrate our announcement of Guild Wars 3. Hop into the game now and earn the Guild Warrior shoulder skin. The Guild Warrior, yeah, we know that, blah, 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 blah. There's a sale, all the expansions are on sale. Buy the game using my referral link, guys. They're gonna, look, I'm guaranteeing you they're dropping Hall of Monuments tomorrow. We all know what they're dropping. We all know they're dropping that. You need to buy the expansions, okay, so you can go big. Big deals there. Wait, is there any more juice? Gem sale. Oh, wait, Twitch drops. I love Twitch drops. So, oh, it's here.
Oh, it's a Guild Wars 3.
Many of us have been waiting for this moment for a long time. We wouldn't want to be in this position without you, Ghosty community. Your loyalty and passion are unmatched, and it fuels us every single day.
That's cool.
Thank you. This
is
absolutely incredible. I've got to say, guys, it feels damn good to be completely vindicated. Okay, all of the doubters are in shambles. ArenaNet have gone. Absolutely incredible. I've got to say, guys, it feels damn good to be completely vindicated. Okay, all of the doubters are in shambles. ArenaNet have gone and done it. They have dropped the ultimate nuke. The ultimate nuke onto the MMO genre. Guild Wars 3 is coming. Oh shit.
The way he's kicking around everywhere, it's like ADHD
Abaddon and
then
Doom, the original Doom.
And overall.
Yo, this is Balthazar, I guess, over here. This character, this is Lissa, of course.
Natsu, thank you so much for the 9-month resub. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Continue Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 3 will be totally different. Small group instances co-op confirmed. I mean, it is possible that they make a smaller group instances instead, but like, would they really call it an MMO if they do that? Because I think that would be disappointing, wouldn't it be? Like, I feel like a lot of people would be mad, wouldn't they? If they introduce an MMO and then it's not like an MMO world. You know what I mean? Have they used the terms open world?
This is Abaddon. This is Dwayna, I guess. And then this is Melandru, right? So yeah, this is like the original gods. We have Dwayna, Abaddon, Doom, CM, Lissa, Balthazar, and then Melandru. It's a real...
I feel like they know that there has to be an open world, like a big one. I think so. I think we're misunderstanding that sentence they wrote on Steam. I think it's gonna be open world for sure.
Cool art style, by the way, actually. I'm loving this trailer with like the little stitches coming into this red fabric. Right, we have to go over these details here. We have big details here, guys. So number one, we are deep in the past. The gods are still on Tyria. Ben, we are deep in the past.
Okay. A modern evolution of the MMO. Ooh. A modern evolution. Could mean anything. Could mean anything.
Gods are still on Tyria. Bear that in mind. We're in awe. Also, very heavy movement focus game. Not that surprising, by the way, guys. So we have the ability to climb. We have mounts.
That means it's going to be less... I mean, that screams open world, doesn't it? There's not going to really be like limitations. You can move around, traverse freely. Imagine they make a game where you can traverse freely, but it's instanced. That's just wrong. I don't think it's going to... I think it's going to be open.
We have gliders. Also worth noting, it's still Doom and Abaddon. And
that's also like Destiny. I haven't played that much Destiny, but wasn't Destiny very limited with where you could go? Like, very, like, linear missions, basically?
Their respective positions as the gods, right? We're that far in the past before any of that stuff ended up happening. More importantly than that, as you can see it, playable races. Because I know people are really into this stuff. Playable races,
human? What is it? Is this a bear?
Realistically, let's be honest, guys. That's what they're showing us here, almost certainly. Is this a Coden, guys? Like, what is
that
this?
The Coden,
this is a Coden, right? He's kind of big, and
Coden is Coden a playable race right now? Because I don't remember Coden being an option, but maybe I just remember badly. No, interesting. So it would be new. Okay, very interesting. Okay.
You know, he's a rotund guy, but definitely looks like a Coden, I'd say. Wait, we got something else here? Guild Wars 3.
Didn't they announce 3 races already? I feel like I read it somewhere. It was like human, Assyrian, and Coden. Or was that not official? Maybe it wasn't official. Glide, ride, and wall run your way across the open world with a movement and momentum system unlike any other MMORPGs. Yeah. It's gonna be an open world. Maybe like a Zelda world, like somebody mentioned before. Lots of mountains, climb around. That kind of thing.
In Modern Evolution of the MMORPG announced at Summer Games Fest for PC and PlayStation 5. Oh, hold on. Oh, okay. We actually have big details. How is my Dark Reader not getting this website, by the way?
He's using the same plugin as me. Oh. That's the plugin that I use, and that's the one that, for those of you who don't remember, basically, I was playing this drawing game with other streamers, and this one guy wanted to be smart, and he picked a white color on the white sheet, and he was drawing a rocket without being able to see what he's drawing, and then at the end he was gonna color drop like the whole shape so that the shape suddenly appears, right? So he couldn't even see what he was drawing himself, right? And then I was using this plugin, and because I used this plugin, the colors for me were different. So he started drawing, and I wrote rocket almost immediately, and then all the like 8 streamers that were in the call were like, Annie? What do you mean? It's just a white canvas? How did you get that right? Is she cheating? Did somebody say it in the chat? And I was like so confused, like, wait, what's going on? What do you mean? What? I cheated? No, like, it's a rocket, isn't it? Like, why is nobody else guessing anything? Why is everybody silent? And yeah, I don't know, someone pointed out, because they came to my stream and they could see on my stream that I could see what he's drawing. He couldn't even see what he was drawing. And then, yeah, then I figured out that, oh, I mean, yeah, I used this plugin, Dark Reader it's called. So I guess it like changed the colors a bit, so I was able to see what's being drawn, but I didn't realize. But it was funny. It was a funny situation. I was accused of being a cheater for like 10 seconds. But yeah, let's continue.
Okay. All right. Guild Wars 3 is a new era, not just for Arena and Guild Wars, but also for MMORPGs as a whole.
I've always said, not always, but I've recently said in the recent years, currently for an MMO to really stand out, it has to be different. There has to be like a new, the genre has to revolutionize somehow. And the wording that they're using sounds like they're confident in the fact that they are making something new. A part of me wants to be cynical, like, what have you made that's new? Like, have you really made something new? Like, what could you have made? You know, like, very questioning. But the confidence in what they've said, their wording that they've picked for this game, is making me very excited. Because that's exactly what needs to be done. And now we just need to hope that the words is actually the actions as well, I guess.
Guild Wars 3, that's what Colin said. The MMORPG is millions of players worldwide eager for new modern experiences. The opportunity to harness that excitement is immense. Our approach in Guild Wars 3 is to push MMORPGs forward to create an online game that feels believable, rewarding, responsive, and innovative, while at the same time respecting players' time and providing a positive, supportive space to build community and enjoy new stories in our universe.
Respecting players' time. They know from the get-go. You can't, like, market your game as this, like, super grindy, like, hardcore game. It has to be casual friendly.
Taking place over 1,000 years before Guild Wars 1. Guild Wars 3 is set in the Tyrian region of Or, a vast wilderness frontier imbued with the world's magic. Nature entities with strong connections to the land called the Veiled Spirits embody the vitality of this lush, verdant landscape.
Before Guild Wars 2, every new WoW was a WoW clone. Every new MMO was a WoW clone. I can believe that. I mean, I haven't played every MMO that exists, but I have to say that Guild Wars 2 has been a very unique experience for me, with the focus on the horizontal progression especially. So I do believe that they know how to innovate. Also things like the mount system and flying and just things like that. Like WoW has borrowed from Guild Wars, and Guild Wars came after. You know, I think that says a lot. So I do have some faith. I think that there is a lot of potential here.
Various guilds are inflicting conflict over how to protect or exploit the bounty beyond civilization's borders. That, I wonder if there's a little bit of hint of PvP in there, guys. These multitudinous spirits will vary in size and influence within the ecosystems around them, with the most notable of them being the Seeker. As seen in the trailer, every player's Seeker will serve as a connection to the spirits of all. That's their mount, I think. Yes, it is. So you're going to have a mount basically forever. And a mount that will carry them on their journey throughout the game's open world. Players will assume the role of the Veil Warden, a member of a guild that adventurers committed to preserving and protecting both the spirits of the wild and the land of Ur itself. Through deep character customization and skill-building gameplay the Guild Wars franchise is known for, players will seek adventure and confront danger across this sumptuous, vibrant online world. Growing their relations with the spirits...
I just want to read that one more time. Deep character customization and skill-building gameplay. Oh, that the franchise is known for. Players will seek adventure and confront danger across this sumptuous, vibrant online world. Growing their relationships with the spirits and other players. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be an instant, like, co-op game. I think it's going to... Yeah. Let's put an end to that rumor where it might be a Destiny 3. I don't think it's gonna.
The inhabitants of Ur and the Veil and other Veil Warden players. A combat system designed from the outside to feel great on controller and keyboard rewards positioning by emphasizing the joy of movement and momentum. So very high movement action combat.
And yeah, there was the quote as well. They do mention open world, so I think we're fine.
Okay, that sounds like Guild Wars 2 Plus, right? Like taking what Guild Wars 2 has and pushing it a bit further. As players seamlessly transition between various movement modes, they can harness their speed and turn it into bigger damage and impact while firing their foes. That was pretty fucking
interesting. Using movement and speed for damage. I want to kind of honestly, I don't remember the game very well. It's so long ago at this point. But when I think about like positioning and movement, it makes me think of what was it called? The MMO with bunnies. Were they bunnies? Wild something. Wild. Maybe they weren't bunnies. WildStar, thank you. Yes, WildStar. It makes me think of WildStar. I don't remember exactly how the combat was, but I do remember that there was like directions. I think directions mattered, positioning mattered. And I think that could be an interesting take on the combat as well. NCSoft is WildStar? Wait, was it the same company? Yeah, it wasn't tab targeting. How is Guild Wars today? It is tab targeting, right? Publisher, not developer? Yeah, but yeah, no, I know that because ArenaNet is the developers, but it is actually the same publisher because that's funny. Both, you can use action camera. Oh, okay. Because I think they might go that direction, especially with a controller into the mix as well. So moving even more away from tab targeting. Because I love tab targeting. I really do. But it is an old combat style that I could see how if you want a new evolution or new... if you want to revolutionize combat, I think moving away from tab target could be a direction. But yeah, let's see.
With more information about pricing, beta test release date, and gameplay features will release. Oh, that's very big. Okay, pricing, beta test release date, and gameplay features will be released later in 2026.
We will know release date before the beta in 2027. It sounds like.
And into 2027.
Maybe like a rough date.
Guild Wars
Maybe
3
like
will be
a-
available
yeah.
directly from the developers at guildwars3.com and can be wishlisted on Steam and the PlayStation Store beginning today. With more information on the official website, will you let me into the official website, ArenaNet, please?
Tab Target is so cozy and relaxing most of the time. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a big fan of it. I'm just like wondering, because I'm trying to like think outside the box, and what if that's outdated? But I don't know. I'm a huge fan of tab targeting. I think it works really well, especially as a caster. I think it's really nice, because then I can stand anywhere and turn around as much as I want, and yeah, it does feel really nice. But maybe it's outdated. Maybe for full action we need to do something else. But yeah.
Okay, that was a good thing there. That was big. Growing the relationship with other Veil Warden players. Okay, so this is interesting though, guys. Let's talk about this. And by the way, I want to be clear. I am not opposed to this at all. It looks like they are really setting out to make this game very soloable. So you can play it solo and basically do everything that you probably want, but there's also this multiplayer element to it, which if you think about it, actually makes a huge amount of sense,
like that,
right? That does make a lot of sense if you think about it, because look, a lot of people do like to play these games kind of solo, so going in that direction, making it work that way, kind of makes sense. But they're still gonna it's still gonna be an MMO at the end of the day, right? They're calling it an MMORPG.
I saw someone in his chat say Guild Wars 3 before World v World update. I'm sure he'll be happy today after this video that we just watched, because apparently they are doing an update to that.
But they're still gonna it's still gonna be an MMO at the end of the day, right? They're calling it an MMORPG, so there's obviously gonna be group content. You're obviously gonna have an open world. I feel like they're definitely going for kind of like a big open world meme here. Oh wait, press kit. Ooh.
Screenshots. Concept art.
Can I arrow key through this? No. Are you kidding me?
Oh, you can't arrow key? That's weird.
Yeah. Look at that. It does look like Azura.
Cool.
Also, guys, what is that Coda? He's a big boy. Guys, these Codons are massive.
I mean, to be fair, it's next to the sewer,
Hefty
which is
chap.
very small.
Oh, look at all this foliage, though, guys. This looks honestly, look, I don't know about you guys. But this type of aesthetic, I go berserk for. I admit that. Okay? I love it. It's whimsical. It's colorful. It's bright, right? I love it.
I hope it will be more whimsical than what we described before as like Disney Fortnite, which is a bit more like bubbly. I think whimsical is so much better for a fancy setting than the soft, bubbly Disney-like. But I'm not convinced yet which of the two it is.
This
Not yet,
super
because this is concept art. It's not in-game
high
art.
fantasy, right? Really lovely color palette there. And
I consider Fortnite more plastic looking. Yeah, Fortnite / Disney is a lot more plastic. It's more shiny. It's more bubbly. It's more soft. Whimsical is a little bit more, much better for a fantasy setting. And I think whimsical also has a chance to be a bit more of an art that sticks out, to be different. Yeah, like fairies. Yeah.
weird kind of like fairy aesthetic. This is what I'm fucking talking about, right? This is good. Yeah.
But this is not screenshot.
I am really liking what I'm seeing here with how the game looks. And yeah, it looks like the entire game is in ore. So basically, ore is going to be a huge
Oh, does he not look at the screenshots?
Now, I want details on this. I want to hear... Guys, I think they're going full open world. With movement like this, like climbing over stuff, I think it's full open world. I do believe that.
I think so too.
Yeah. I think it is. Oh! Oh, guys! This is... Wait, this is... Wait. By the way, guys, this is actually relevant. Guys, don't know how Steam works. Does Steam put placeholder here, or will ANET have put this here? Because I know
No
people
idea.
are worried about performance, and that's very fair, by the way, guys. That's very fair. Obviously, but these requirements are not insane. Right? So looks like the performance is an Intel i5 8400 AMD Ryzen 5 2600, 16 gigs of RAM.
Are these
and then you
specs
need
not
2060
insane, guys?
as the minimum.
I don't know.
Or Radeon RX 5700
What is
or an
normal to
Intel
have?
Arc A580 if you're running one of those, and 65 gigs of available space. That's not crazy.
No, quite low. Okay.
That does mean that this game is gonna be playable, and you'll be able to, enjoy the game, even if you don't have like a super modern setup there. That's good to see, right?
Okay.
And honestly, a lot of people were concerned about this, and by the way, that's fair, because obviously that not everyone is buying a new PC all the time, and new game, Unreal Engine, it's going to be a sexy game, right? That that's potentially going to be hard to run. So it's actually very good that they have very clearly, looking at these specs, thought about it, right? They've clearly thought about making sure that players potentially with an older setup are still going to be able to enjoy their game. Yeah, I mean, 65 gigs is a lot, but I mean, it's pretty, isn't it kind of standard for like an online, or well, not even online, like a big open world game? It's not.
There's no way 65 gig will be enough, right?
Languages, this is like
I
standard,
don't
right?
believe
This
it's
is the
gonna
same
be
as Guild
enough.
Wars 2, right? It's not full audio for French and German, which is interesting. But yeah, you've got subtitles, full audio for English, Spanish, and Korean.
Maybe
I wonder
French
if they'll
and German
add
is still
French and
being
German
worked
later.
on.
That might be
Yeah.
something that will come later, guys. And that's what they've done for now. Or like that, those are the ones that they have done. It's official. We are developing Guild Wars 3.
65 is the base, maybe.
It is time.
What? That was the end of the video?
It's official. We are developing Guild Wars 3. It is time.
Bye. Okay. But yeah, great video if you guys want to watch it. It's basically his reaction to the announcement and then going through like what we know so far. And I think that's it. Is there anything else that we can read? I think we've looked at everything. I think we've looked at everything. I can't wait to get my Guild Wars 3 t-shirt. That's cool. 8 hours to get that. No longer available. Oh yeah, this was the previous one. I got the cat. I got my Luna. It's a short from June 5th to June 10th. Seems like they always do like very short drop like moments. You have more Teapot reactions for today's video? Yeah. I'll watch his reactions later. Oh, thank you. Sorry, you got timed out, but I see what you wrote. And yes, I do want to look at these actually, because he didn't look. I mean, maybe he clicked on them, but he didn't show it in his video. Yeah, like if the art style in game also gave this like slight whimsical touch to it, I would love that. But let's see. Actual screenshots. Does look a lot more polished. Not very whimsical. Very pretty though. Same thing here. But do you see what I mean? That it's not super bright. Because I was concerned about that. What, like, that the game is very bright, very vibrant. Because I think there's a limit. If you go past that limit, it starts feeling like Fortnite or like a Disney movie or game. And I do feel like they have kept it relatively grounded, but still have lots of very good lighting and still vibrance, which I think is good. And here as well. Yeah. This is a screenshot. Okay. Honestly, I think this works. I think this is really pretty. Without being too much. This looks almost hand painted. But yeah, it does look very nice. Do you also like cozy looking environments? I like cozy environments, yeah. I do. I think I just, I get concerned when the art ends up looking like every other modern game. because then I feel like the game doesn't have its own soul. Like Fellowship, for example. I think Fellowship has very generic art that makes it look like not so unique. It's still very pretty. Like there's nothing wrong. It's not ugly. It's very pretty, but it becomes like concerning that the art doesn't look unique to itself. And I think with MMOs especially, when you put in so much time and effort, passion, and everything into it, it's nice to have an art style that sticks out. Fellowship looks very much like a mobile graphics. Yeah, because mobile graphics, I think they all go for the same look, basically. Yeah. Ow. It's one of the biggest issues with modern games that doesn't get talked about enough. Yeah, that they all end up looking the same. Yeah. I hope they keep their gritty kind of style in some aspects of the game. I hope so too. I hope they have, you know, like, you know, these moments in the game. I think is nice for the game too. Yeah. It is time.